certain about the future of the platform, their accounts, and the vibrant online communities that they have cultivated. Yeah, no shit. These communities cannot be replicated on another app. A ban would dismantle a one-of-a-kind informational and cultural ecosystem, silencing millions in the process. The stakes are high. That's why I will be introducing the Extend the TikTok Deadline Act to extend the deadline by which ByteDance must sell TikTok or face a ban by an additional 270 days. Let me be clear. TikTok has its problems, like every social media platform. TikTok poses a serious risk to the privacy and mental health of our young people. Okay, whatever. I will continue to hold TikTok accountable for such behavior, but a TikTok ban would impose serious consequences on millions of Americans who depend on the app for social connections and their economic livelihood. We cannot allow that to happen. So, this is what I need you to do, and I don't want any excuses. If you guys can't do this, then I don't know what you've been listening and watching me for the last 3.5 years. Congressional switchboard number is 202-224-3121. Again, that's 202-224-3121. You need to call your senators, both of them, and tell them why you don't want TikTok banned. Ask them to support Ed Markey's bill to extend the TikTok deadline. That's not a lot to ask. 202-224-3121. We'll post it. We'll add it to our Discord. We'll tag it. Again, 202-224-3121. You need to call your senators. First of all, I hope the hell you know who they are. Call your senators. Tell them that you want them to vote yes in support of Ed Markey's bill to extend the TikTok deadline. It's that simple. If you can't do that, if you can't find time in your day today to do that, then I'm disappointed in you. There's 700 people in here, okay? 715 people. That's 1,500 phone calls, right? Each one of you has 2 senators. Call them. I don't care who they are. I don't care what side of the aisle. I don't care if you can't stand them. Again, the number, 202-224-3121. It's the Extend the TikTok deadline, bill to extend the deadline for the TikTok ban, sponsored by Ed Markey. Okay? Everybody do that? I don't care if they're not taking phone calls. I don't care. I don't care. It's about the effort. Remember how we talked about this a million times, you guys. Democracy is not a spectator sport. If you care about this platform, if you care about this, it's 202. It's 202-224-3121. All right? You could also look at your senator's websites. They might prefer email. I don't know. Reach out to them. If you've got time today, do it. If you got time tomorrow, do it. You can leave your again, remember, they work for you. Okay? They work for you. You elected them. All right? If you want TikTok saved, then don't sit by and wring your hands and cry about it. Just call them. If you want to email them too. That's a good way to do it. But I believe in the spoken word because you can show more emotion in your phone call. So I would suggest doing both, but definitely call. Definitely call. 202-224-3121. Okay? I don't care if he cares. Again, stop making excuses, Lynn. You got Bernie Moreno. I don't care. Call him anyway. All right? Put them on blast. Say that then you've got evidence to say, I contacted my senators. I didn't hear back from them. 202-224-3121. That's the congressional switchboard. They'll direct you right to their office. They're usually their office hours, 9 to 5. They are in session, as we know, because they're there for hearings this week. Tell them that this is important to you. Part of the issue that this bill was that was sort of included in a humanitarian aid bill, this was wrapped up in monies to support Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel. And that's part of the pushback from some of the members of Congress to say, well, why is this TikTok ban included in this funding bill? And the right loves to say, we should have single issue bills. Listen, there's people that are hardcore MAGA that don't want TikTok to go away. I mean, there's people on this app that still are hardcore MAGA that still run their business through TikTok, right? That still believe in this space because they like to yell and scream at people as they become remembered as a disgrace throughout history. But it's viable for many people. Again, 202-224-3121. I will be reminding you throughout the morning to do that. So, anyway, Speaking of the hearings, we know that Pete Hegseth's hearing this week, and there's a few others. I don't know how any of these are going to go. I really don't. I would be surprised if they don't get confirmed. And just as a reminder, a little bit about Pam Bondi, who Donald Trump wants to be his attorney general. She asked for and received a donation when she was the AG in Florida. She asked for and received a donation from Trump just before her office declined to investigate the fraud around Trump University. As a reminder, that's who the attorney general is going to be. So there's that. I just think it's really, really important that we take matters into our own hands, guys, because this whole we the people thing is now us. Hey, man, how are you?
Hey, doing good. How about you?
I'm fine. What's going on?
No, I literally just got off the phone with the phone number that you just talked about, so just told them to support the bill.
Beautiful.
And it just makes all the sense in the world. Plus, I think later, but I'm at work today, so later in the day, I'm gonna end up making a video later just to pretty much piggyback and send the exact same message and get the message out there to anybody else that does believe in calling their senators just to extend the deadline for the TikTok app.
Yeah.
So,
Let them hear your
um,
voice. I mean, it's just important. If you've never done that before, I mean, listen, they know me by name in my congressional reps offices. They literally, I call a lot. I ask them how they voted on certain things. I ask them, who in their staff is responsible. We had flooding in Vermont. I contacted their offices directly to find out why there was a holdup with some funding. I got direct answers. I'm fortunate my senators and my rep respond quickly. So if you've never done this before, then do it. Make this be your first time.
yep, gonna be the first time. Plus,
Good.
yeah. So now to the prompt, it's pretty much already like the writing on the wall that history is, no matter what, Trump supporters are going to be a disgrace, and just on the fact that they supported this guy for years on end. Now we're closing in on what, almost a decade of support for this person that has been so detrimental for the country. Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to put it. They are a disgrace, and they've been given fact after fact after fact about how terrible and a threat that this guy is to democracy. So, I mean, what else do you want to know?
I'm sorry, I'm having some tech issues at the moment. Hold on a second.
Okay.
All right, I think I fixed it. Are you there, Andy?
Yep, still here.
Okay, sorry, I'm bad.
All
Sorry
right.
about that.
Um,
Yeah, I mean,
when,
again, I mean, we can look at the evidence that was presented. I believe in the rule of law. I believe in the rule of law. They obviously don't. I know you do. But if you read the indictments, if you know what he was charged with, conspiracy to defraud the United States, he admitted that he knew that he lost the election. He lied to his voters. He lied to his base. He lied to the public. He lied to the world, and he's going to take the oath of office again. So anybody who supports him is a disgrace.
yeah, I mean,
Period.
there's really no other way to put it. And
No,
again, all this talk about like threatening to put boots on the ground in Greenland and trying to, get an offer or something like that, and then just tariffing the shit out of Mexico and Canada, or trying to bring Canada in as the 51st state.
I
Like,
know,
what is
right?
that gonna like MAGA? What is that gonna do for us economically? How is that gonna make sure that the next generation of our kids get a better education? How is that going to put more money in our pockets? How is that going to make us get easier access to healthcare? That, along
Right.
with, you know, trying to purchase the Panama Canal. And then on top of that, how is changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America going to do anything? Like,
I literally saw someone from who identifies as MAGA talking about this. Somebody shared the video with me, and I meant to pull the clip from it. This person, because Joe Biden signed that offshore drilling ban, which is the exact same thing that Donald Trump did, which is the exact same thing that Barack Obama did. It's something we've always done. Of course, MAGA doesn't know that because they don't read. This woman literally was sitting in her car, and she did this video saying the reason that Trump is changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America is then because it's the Gulf of America, we can drill whatever the fuck we want. That's how stupid they are. That's literally
okay.
how stupid they are.
I
Yeah.
mean, no, that I'm surprised, but yeah, that just like further extends their trophy level of stupidity.
Yeah,
And I mean, again, you're if MAGA is unaware that we're drilling more oil than we have, and even still trying to have the best of both worlds with clean energy and then fossil fuel options,
yep,
then there's no talking to them.
correct,
There's zero talking to them.
correct.
And you know, I just going back to the nominations, it's like, okay, what does having a crazy conspiracy theorist and a person who can't go without a drink for more than 5 seconds going to be good for the country? And then on top of that, how is an environmental lawyer in RFK Jr. going to do anything to better healthcare in any which way, shape, or form?
Again, I think that's part of the problem because it doesn't matter. It's all the distraction, right? It doesn't matter. His cabinet loaded with people who are billionaires trying to set or influence policy that will benefit billionaires. Like that's going to help us. I mean, again, the worm brain eating director of DHS, who's an anti-vaxxer, who's a conspiracy theorist, who's a fraud, whose own family despises him, and he's going to be setting policy for the future of our society. Look, are there things that I'd love to see change for our food system? Absolutely, no doubt about it. Open minded
Yeah,
to that, but he's a fucking psycho.
yeah,
Let's be
and
real.
it's yeah, it is. And listen, fun fact, because where I live in New York, RFK Jr. has his office right next to where my dad works in Pace University,
Yeah,
and I've only ever spoken to him once, and just that one time, even when I was like, you know, 18 years old, he was still a loon. Like the guy is out of his mind. And I don't blame the rest of the Kennedy family for disowning this person. And now this
exactly,
guy is in a position of power. Like, you do
exactly.
understand that he thinks that, keep in mind, this guy thinks that leaving his car running for almost 45 minutes is probably not going to do as much damage to the ozone. Or he thinks that
I know.
he literally says that 5G causes some matter of autism.
Of
Like,
course he
what
does.
are
Yeah,
you talking about?
I know. I mean, we just got to keep remembering, Andy, that in history we'll remember Trump supporters as a disgrace. Thank you, brother, for jumping in. I appreciate you
Yeah.
as always. Have a good day.
Thank you so
I
much for
will.
having me. See
Yeah,
ya.
buddy. Take care. Hi, Buzz.
Morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I was, scrolling because I had taken some time from this app, being in love, living life, going back to school. And I had taken some
Nice.
time to try to handle
Nice.
all those things because I've got all my classes starting. So I have so much going on right now. And I was kind of looking over what I've missed because, I like to stay current. I like to know what kind of fuckery is going to happen next week. And really, because Donald Trump has been talking a lot, he's just been a lot happening, and I didn't have time. So I was like, I'm going to wait for it to collect, and then I'll come to it when it doesn't feel like it's happening back to back. And what I stumbled across in this research about what's happening currently is Resolution 7
That's what I was looking for.
introduced,
Mm-hmm.
House Resolution 7 introduced to the Energy Committee
Mm-hmm.
by the Arizona Representative Biggs.
Mm-hmm. Co-sponsored by the other guy. I forget his name. Clay Higgins.
Correct, which is
Yep.
a bill that I haven't seen a lot of people talking about, which is concerning because of the supposed outrage for what occurred with Roe versus Wade being turned back to the states.
Mm-hmm.
For people that don't know, it's the bill about having a special interest in women's health care.
Yep. Yeah,
And
we talked about it a lot. So when we found it the day after, the one line in particular, it says whereas healthcare for women should also address the needs of men, families, and communities as they relate to women's healthcare.
very true. And so, what I hope happens is now it's been about a week since this information has been released. I hope more people are looking into it and start talking about it. Because something I was saying in a live the other day, the issue that a lot of people have with Democrats, and I always say this as your friendly socialist bee, is that Democrats vote for passion and not for action.
Yeah, fair. Democrats
And
fall in love, Republicans fall in line.
correct. They vote for passion and not for action. And what I mean by that is that category, it's been said for decades that Democrats only show up and vote every 8 years. And realistically, if you look at that more closely, as people have done over the decades, is that Democrats are more likely to vote when something has gone catastrophically bad, which is why we keep having this back and forth between Democratic and Republican presidents when we have a two-term president, even if it's a one-term president. Because the thing is, if you have a Democratic president that gets a one term, they usually don't leave the economy in ruins. There's usually not a lot of chaos happening after that. And so Democrats don't feel the passion needed to push them to the polls. And
Correct.
true as true can be, that seems to be what occurred in this election with the amount of people that did not show up to vote.
Correct.
So, my plea is for that, right? For people that claimed to care so much about what is happening with the repealing of women's rights to bodily autonomy and decisions therefore made under the guise of bodily autonomy. If you have not read that bill, if you've only listened to the people like Facts talking about it and you haven't looked at it yourself, the verbiage in the bill alone is concerning because there's quite literally a line in there that says that women's health care should take into account the interest of men.
The worst part is the title of the bill. So HRS 7, recognizing the importance of access to comprehensive, high-quality, life-affirming medical care for women of all ages. Who would not support that on its face?
Jesus Christ. I
Right?
know. It's so insidious.
Exactly. And because the mouth-breathing traitorous gomers that exist in our country, who basically will be a disgrace, history will remember them as such, will say, I don't know what's wrong with that. Why didn't the Democrats don't care about women? You didn't vote for it. So
Correct.
yeah,
And so,
due respect to our friends in the South, but that was my best attempt at
yeah, I
modeling.
think that's pretty spot on. As someone from Alabama, I get it. I felt that passionately in my bones. I felt it almost a call. And the other day, and I too wanted to echo your sentiments on calling your representatives. I get it. I saw somebody in the comment section say that their representative was Josh Hawley, and all I had to say to that was, "I'm sorry." But
Exactly.
I
But
can
who cares?
offer a solution for that, as I unfortunately, I'm going to say his name out loud. It's like Beetlejuice. Rubio.
Yeah.
That man does fuck all and only shows up when there's pictures involved. That's kind of the reality of the situation. But here's what I found has worked for me. Instead of calling your asshole representative, because, well, at least in Florida, right, there's very few representatives that their team answers the phone.
Yeah.
There are some representatives that actually have functional assistants and interns in their office that do answer the phones, do respond back to emails, and do put forth action plans.
Well, just to clarify, every senator and member of Congress does have what's referred to as constituency services. It is a part of their team. Whether or not they
Yes.
staff it is something, but they all do have it. So
Correct.
yeah.
Correct. They all do have it, and unfortunately, some of them do not use it. And as a matter of fact, there are people that have put together a comprehensive list by state for which representatives in your state use that team and which representatives in your state do not use that team. If
Yeah.
you have an asshole representative, my encouragement to you is to write them because likely they're just sending their calls to an automated system.
I would encourage people to do both. I would say call them, email them. Their office hours are regular office hours. They also have their local office. They have their office in DC. So I would leave no stone unturned. It doesn't matter what you think is better. Do both. Call them and email them. Let them know
Yes.
that you're out there.
And if you're in Florida for representatives that have the teams that do work, I can tell you for sure, Maxwell Frost, they have the people staffed in an office. And then also Jared Moskowitz, they have the people staffed in an office.
Correct.
And then a lot of the representatives in the Northern Hemisphere, in the Jacksonville to Duval area, they are staffed. If you want to speak to someone, if you feel more comfortable doing that. But like Fact said, I recommend to do all three.
Yep.
But if you're somebody that gets anxious by the fact that you have automated systems and you don't feel like it's going anywhere, write them. I saw a lot of people talking about those options. Write them, email them, send them physical letters. Go for it. Even if your representative is an asshole, still do your best.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is again, there's 880 people in here, so that would be at least at a minimum of 1,600 calls, a minimum of 1,600 emails. Again, friends, this is tough love from your boy. I appreciate your support for me, but if you really want to show support for me and for Buzzy for all what we've done, then do it. Call your senators, email them. We the people, right? Do it. Put them on blast. If they don't respond, then you've got a note to say, "Oh, you know what? My senator's office never got back to me." I guarantee you, before the end of the week, I will hear back from Bernie's office, from Peter Welch's office, and from Becca Ballin's office because they always respond. Again, I'm fortunate. I live in a state with 650,000 people, but they always respond. So there you go.
Correct. And someone said
202
representatives.
224
Someone said representatives or just senators or representatives too. So when I say representatives, I mean the whole of the people in your system that represent your area. I would just go down or up the chain, depending on how you want to say it, and get in contact with as many people as you can.
Yeah.
And again, I speak for the people that were talking about anxiousness and having asshole representatives. Again, I have Rubio who shows up in this state every, I don't know, 6 months,
Yeah.
then takes some photos and leaves once again.
Somebody that I've seen as a potential replacement for him is almost worse because he's going to get confirmed as Secretary of State. Rubio.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I forget his name, but I have it somewhere. Let's see if I can find it.
Oh, I know. For those of us in that area, because the other one is Rick Scott's bitch ass. Ugh.
Yeah.
Just, ugh. I mean, you still contact them, harass them,
Yeah.
but just, Moskowitz and Frost are right there. Just
Corey Mills says that he will be running for the Senate seat now held by Rubio, and he's a whack job as well. He's Florida man. I know there's a competition for Florida man, and he'd be in the running for sure.
it's just so weird watching it play out. But I tell you what is funny. I wish more people had access to these things. But if you could see what the college students have to say about the different representatives.
Somebody just asked a question. Listen, I mean, I can write something and we can put something in our Discord, but make it simple. Tell them who your name, where you live, and then say, please vote yes to extend and Senator Markey's extend the TikTok deadline ban. It's that simple. If you don't overthink it, if I leave long messages, my emails were long, I can share that. I'd be happy to do it. But again, really simple. Your name, where you're from. Don't make it political. Just say, please support Senator Markey's extend the TikTok deadline ban. Thank you. 20 seconds tops.
Somebody
If you want to get into more detail, like if this app is important to you and this is where you get your news and information, share it. If you're a small business owner, share that as well. The more fuel we can put on the fire, the more pressure. Again, we don't know what's going to happen. We still don't know what's going to happen, but I think something like this is the bare minimum of what we can all do.
I think Dan simplified that so much. For those of you that are still kind of unsure, be firm but not threatening.
Exactly.
Firm but not threatening. And then the other question someone said is, what was I saying about the northern area, like Duval, Jacksonville? I was saying that the northern area of Florida has really good representatives, at least at state level, where they have good teams in their office and they do respond.
That's right.
And so if you're in those areas, it should be easy to kind of get in contact with your representatives. And when I say representatives, I mean the whole cast. Start from the bottom and just to work your way to the top.
And I want to debunk this conspiracy theory now about Elon buying. That's been debunked numerous times. ByteDance has come out and saying, yeah, no, not happening. So again, more conspiracy, more misinformation, another argument as to why we need to save TikTok. Because otherwise, just misinformation, disinformation just wins, quite frankly.
Absolutely. And I'm just like, I think having these conversations, and I love that you do this, Facts, having these conversations, giving information and encouraging people to actually be involved. Because a lot of people get concerned about being involved. I don't want to be on the front lines. I don't want to be seen. Well, this is a way you can do what I call quiet advocacy.
Correct.
You can do this in your home. You don't have to tell the people, if you live in the Red County, you don't have to tell the people around you. You don't have to engage in those public displays. You can do this in the quiet of your home. You can do this while you're sitting here listening to this conversation right now. And there are many creators that have in their Discords and on their profiles things that you can copy and paste if you don't feel comfortable using your own words, and you can copy and paste to as many representatives as possible. Somebody asked me who's one of the representatives from Northern Florida, and I think her name is Angie Nixon. She actually has a TikTok and she talks about what happened. I believe, if I'm thinking about the right woman, she has a TikTok and she talks about what's happening in Florida's House of Representatives on a consistent basis, and she shares her personal experience. So yeah, you can follow her. She, like I said, she is on this app too. But yes, the goal of this is to just make sure that you are aware. And the reason why I use that House bill as an example is because what's happening now is insidious. I've said this before, and everybody thinks that I'm being condescending when I say this, but it's the reality of the situation that the average American in this country, the average adult, has a reading comprehensive level of fifth grade. So if they're making these bills and they're titling them insidiously so that they sound pleasant, so that they sound like they could be a good thing, people are not going to dig deeper, because what we've learned from Donald Trump's campaign, what we've learned from the Republicans, is that people respond to outrage and not to facts, and they don't delve deeper than titles a lot of times. So when we're looking at the context of that bill, or we're looking at what's actually in that bill, the title is just fluff.
Yep. Yep. Again, everybody, 202-224-3121. That's the Congressional Switchboard Office. We're not asking a lot. I have an expectation. In fact, I am. I'm demanding everybody in here, call your senators, call your representatives, email them. Doesn't have to be complicated. Don't be harsh. Don't be spicy facts. Just be polite, be considerate. 202-224-3121. We'll post it. We'll pin it in the comments. Our mods will share it. It's going to be in our Discord. This is the least you can do. We don't know what's going to happen. Again, it's the extend deadline for TikTok ban act, introduced by Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey. New England, again, representing. Hopefully, we can figure that out. But thanks for jumping in.
And if you're one of those people across the pond, and I'm looking at someone very specific who I adore, who just said they don't have a senator. If you're one of those people across the pond, might I suggest sending emails to Rubio, Hawley,
Cruz,
MTG,
yeah, exactly.
Boebert. Yeah, there's a few names that I can think of. If you have some time on your hands and you want to send a couple mass emails, if you too want to be a part of the time we have on our hands, Danes,
This is one of those things. Like, we're always trying to find these common ground items. There are right-wing creators on this app, hardcore MAGA voters who also run their small businesses through TikTok, who also believe that the government should not be suppressing our speech. They may not admit it publicly, but it's the reality, right? So they could have a vested interest in trying to save this as well. The fact that this bill was wrapped up into a humanitarian aid package, which was part of the contention initially, why some people voted against it, not giving people enough time to read it. Why would we not want to extend it just to kind of figure this shit out? Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. We're going to find our way over to YouTube. By the way, we're streaming on YouTube. Please consider subscribing over there. I don't know, but it's the least we can do, right, Buzz? It's the least we can all do.
I agree. And again, for people across the pond, for just 10 minutes today, you could make a Floridian smile. All you have to do is copy and paste one of those prompts to Rick Scott's email, and you too could save a Floridian's life today. Look at you, a hero.
Appreciate you.
Hero. Bye,
Appreciate
everybody.
See you later. Have a good day. Hi, Jess.
Good morning. So, while you guys are on the topic of writing, I have made up kind of a plan. I am starting to, because there's like 900 people in here, I am drafting. Tiff is being so lovely, and she and Steve are also both drafting.
I forgot to do that for you last
That's
night.
okay. We're going to draft up like a ton of different letters to YouTube to try and basically get them to change your platform a little bit so that it could be more user friendly. So we don't have to so much rely on, even in 270 days, if they do extend it, if it still does get banned, we have a backup. So this will give them, hopefully it gets extended, and then this will give YouTube some time to get their shit together, because it is not user friendly over there to go live at fucking all. Steve and I were major failures. We crashed our plane. So,
but we all survived. The wing fell off, the wheels fell off, but we survived.
We did. So if you guys want to draft up letters to YouTube, just put some ideas in there. Don't make it too complicated. Just say, hey, with the banning of TikTok, we would really like if you guys could potentially add a more user-friendly platform, multi-guest access, gifting, background, the ability to change backgrounds, just stuff like that. So if you guys want to do that, it's very easy to email YouTube. They don't have to be perfect. Draft up a bunch of them. So if you are in our in our TikTok, I can't say the goddamn word. If you are in our Discord, if you're in all of those, if you're in our Discord, just let us know. Send me a DM, and then I'll send you one of the drafted letters. Or we could do like a Google
Docs or something.
Yeah, where you can just be invited to it.
Some people might want to use ChatGPT. That's fine too. Sure. Well, again, advocacy, right? Advocacy.
Yep. So you guys have a lot of work to do. We're giving you guys a lot of homework today, but this is how we move forward. And I feel like this is the only way we move forward is if we start advocating for ourselves.
Yeah. Like I've said to you guys from the beginning, I've always made you think when we have these conversations, right? I mean, I'm here to provide information, context, make my own, sort of connections to things, but I've always asked you to think. Now I'm asking you to act. Phone call to the congressional switchboard is right there. Again, you're asking them, you're contacting your senators. First of all, do you know who both of them are? I hope so. And for those of you who don't, if you don't know who your senators are, then you're not going to be included in our new country of Cantifa. Just letting you know. But you're asking your senator to vote yes to the Extend the TikTok Deadline Act, sponsored by Senator Ed Markey from DC, or from Massachusetts. And to Jess's point, we are trying to encourage YouTube to make their format a little bit more user-friendly. If we do go dark on the 19th, I will be posting content on YouTube until we can figure out a solution for lives. I may just do it as a podcast format until we can figure out guests, but you ain't getting rid of me. It's just going to look a little different potentially.
Yeah, you can have one co-host, guys, but it's not like where people can just invite themselves up. Like if they're in the comments and they're opposition, they can't just invite themselves up. And I don't even care about the background as much as I care about that part, because that is, that's how we do this. So
Exactly.
Keep writing.
Anyway, can you touch a little bit on Red Note? I know you talked about that a little bit yesterday, because I saw a lot of people yesterday doing videos about, you'll find me on Red Note.
Yeah, so Red Note is similar in its user face. So it looks very similar to TikTok, except it's in Chinese, which I think they are working on a translation. However, the only problem is I don't think they're ever planning I looked it up. I tried to see if they were working on also being able to go live on there, and I don't think they're planning on changing that. And I also don't think that Red Note is going to be available once the TikTok is banned. I think they're going to take it out of the App Store also, because it's the same concept. I don't necessarily know that it's going to be available for us, but I do know that you cannot go live on Red Note. When you hit live, you need a Chinese identification number because of earnings, right? They do the same thing as TikTok. You get earnings, and in order to get earnings, they need to deduct from that, and they won't do that without a Chinese identification number. So you cannot go live unless you are a Chinese citizen.
There's another thing on Red Note. I translated I translated the terms and conditions into English. And when you sign up for Red Note, you are agreeing to Chinese law, which means you can't talk about politics.
No politics. Yep. I forgot about that. I didn't think of that.
So it's literally useless for what we want to do.
Fun. So here's the thought. Everybody, Erica will become our hub for information. So we can just spam her in direct messages and force her to go live at whatever time works for her, so that we can still stay connected. Okay?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's going on TikTok. I can be your TikTok hub of information. That's fine.
Or we could just move to the UK and we'll be fine.
There's that too.
I mean, the obvious issue with that is we also have immigration law.
Right.
I mean, that's the obvious issue.
Yeah, so like if you have to go through people's luggage, and if you find any red hats or Lee Greenwood 8 tracks, then you're not going to be allowed in. right?
I don't know who that is. He sounds terrible.
He's the guy that's saying "God bless the USA." That's
oh yeah. No, no, yeah. Let's just put it like this. He hasn't made it beyond the borders of the USA, which I'm not sad about.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Also, friends, you'll find me on Favorited. That is in the link tree that's in my bio. YouTube, Blue Sky, probably not Instagram. There's a few others. I'm potentially part of the beta test for Neptune. So we're working on places so that you can find us. We'll be out there. Like I'm going to be like a bad penny.
Neptune seems pretty promising.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, our friend Obi is kind of in deep, and I told him to break it. If anybody can, it would be him. So, by design, break it in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah, it's Neptune sounds promising. You can also, if you guys, I posted the link to Neptune, the Discord in our Discord, the link to their Discord in our Discord, and you can go save your handle on Neptune now. They keep pausing it and then unpausing it. I got mine. So go save your handles on there because I think that might be our best option.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, and on that point, friends, there's numerous links that are available to you that are in the link tree that are in my bio, including the merch store. Thank you again to Erica for putting together Our Schools Are Not Your Church. Our winner submitted that, and he and I connected yesterday offline, and I will be placing that order for him today to get his new shirt. And by the way, it looks like this, in case you didn't see it. Where is it?
But can we still put the eggs one up there? Because I want it.
You have to talk to the boss. She's ready to vote it.
Erica, the eggs, I voted for eggs and grocery prices, and instead I got this stupid fucking t-shirt. It was fantastic.
Just keep adding words to it.
Yeah, I think I added that.
I have to say though, Jess, can you, like, when you looked up like that, I did feel somewhat violated. So if you could not do that again,
hey now.
that would be good.
All right, where was I here? Let's go back to this one. Yes, this one. Yes, actually, no, the new one, Gregory. Sorry, buddy, because you just did this for us. All right, friends, again, 202-224-3121. Yeah, I sound like a telethon, but that's the number that you can be active in your democracy. So everybody, please do that. And I want everybody to tell me if they spoke to anybody. So if anybody makes a phone call this morning and you have a conversation with someone, I would love for you to come up and talk to us. I would love for that.
Andy Kim never answers the phone. His office never answers the phone. I have to actually write them.
All right, I'm going to play a little audio for you guys just as a reminder of why history will remember Trump supporters as a disgrace for a variety of reasons. But in particular, I want to talk about the ending the war mantra, and how his, first of all, before we do that, I think I need to cover off on this disturbing story. If you guys weren't aware of, first of all, who Tom Homan is, Tom Homan is the actual border czar. Now, we know that Laney is our border czar. And we had that conversation yesterday, and Jess had to threaten Laney to allow New Jersey to be included in the new country of Cantifa. It worked.
Eggs, bagels, and pizza.
Nobody wants to deal with New Jersey sass. Nobody wants to deal with that. That's for sure. Let me see if I can find this story. So, yeah, basically, Tom Homan, if I can find this article, is this it right here? I think so. Hold on. Sorry, everybody, please keep tapping and sharing. I would appreciate you guys very much. Again, if you want to use the pay apps, they're above. If you want to gift us like crazy, then gift us. We'd appreciate that too. All right, so Tom Homan is the border czar, and they've talked about the mass deportation exercise. He believes it's what's necessary to secure America. They are establishing a hotline. I don't know if you guys heard about this. But Homan said in regards to this hotline, he wants a transition to a fresh idea when it comes to immigration policy, including a hotline that would allow Americans to report undocumented immigrants who they believe have committed crimes in their communities. I want a place where American citizens can call and report. We need to take care of the American people. We need to make sure they have an outlet to help report. We want to give them the opportunity to be a part of the fix. Can you imagine a scenario? Well, we have it. We have bigots and racists in our country that may not like their neighbors, and just might decide to make that call and report. And then what happens? Someone's rights are violated.
That's
History
disgusting.
will remember Trump supporters as a disgrace. This is what you exactly the 1-800-Karen line. Exactly. It's disgusting. And again, this is part of why I feel like if we lose TikTok, this is kind of some of the stuff that doesn't really get talked about and doesn't really get reported on. So 202-224-3121, you know what to do. That's history.
Yeah, like how does that work? Like when we talk about, and this is what we've been trying to explain to them for how long now about like the stop and frisk and the guy from ICE saying like, oh, we're doing this, and if you get in our way, like we'll just basically eliminate you. That's basically what he said. Like we'll take care of you. Like how does that work without discrimination? Like how does that work? Oh, the neighbor just says, oh, there's brown people that live next door. I don't know who they are, but I think they're committing a crime. And then, like, it just plays into our racism. Like, I don't understand.
Well, that's what they voted for. You know, in part of the interview, he was asked a question, don't you understand the impact of the economy? His answer was, there's no price to pay for securing our nation. I'll pay any price. So literally, we're gonna cause Americans to suffer economically because of what mass deportation would do to the agriculture industry, the housing industry, manufacturing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because they're racists.
And when they say, I'll pay the price, what does that mean? That doesn't mean they'll pay the price. It means we pay the price.
Correct.
They don't fucking pay the price for shit.
That's exactly right. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the you guys can stick if you want to. Everybody, please gift our panelists. And like I said, this week, if you're trolling through TikTok and you see a creator that you really like, gift the shit out of them. Send them roses. Send them whatever. You know, just if you've never sent somebody a gift before, just do it, just to show them your love. Pay apps are above me. If you want a gift, I appreciate that. Thank you all very, very much. All right, so I just want to play a little bit of audio. This is about again more of the lies that were told. So let's think about the lies that he was told. Let's do this. Let's talk about this first. This is interesting. So these are the lies about inflation. All right.
We'll end inflation and make America affordable again. We're going to get the prices down. We have to get them down. It's too much. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down. But prices will come down. You just watch. They'll come down, and they'll come down fast. Not only with insurance, with everything. Tomorrow I will end inflation. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices. I will end inflation. End inflation. Slash your prices. To rapidly reduce inflation, I will end inflation very quickly. You know, end inflation. Slash your prices. We will cut your taxes. End inflation. Slash your prices. We're going to get your prices down.
You get the idea. And then within days of being elected, interviewed at Time Magazine for the Person of the Year, said, yeah, it's going to be really hard to do that. Probably not going to be able to do that. And then the promises made by Doge about cutting trillions of dollars from the budget. We know that they're going to go after SNAP benefits. I'll talk about that in just a second. But this one I found interesting because his promises about ending no new wars, right? So let's this might take a little bit. This is a few minutes, and I'll kind of interject a little bit.
Remember when Donald Trump promised to end the war in Ukraine within 24 hours of becoming president-elect? And then that shifted to, I will end it within 24 hours of becoming president. It turns out that it's not going to happen, and expectations are now being downplayed a little bit. I want to break down with you how this fantasy fell apart in record time. Let's start with some of the claims that Donald Trump previously made about this. A lot of these, I think, will ring a bell.
I would fix that within 24 hours. And if I win, before I get into the office, I will have that war settled. 100% sure. Mm-hmm. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, short.
Win within 24 hours. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the war ended.
And Ukraine settled, and we'll do it quickly. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after I win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled, and it will settle with Ukraine and Russia. I will get them to settle that war very quickly, even before I become president, as a president-elect. Ukraine and Russia, the stupidity with I will get that negotiated and ended before I ever take office. I'll do it after the election as president-elect. I would get a settlement in 24 hours, and even now I could solve that in 24 hours.
So, 24 hours. Within 24 hours of becoming president-elect, or at least the peace talks would start.
Then you get one of his, the person, I think his name is Keith Kellogg, who goes on the Talking Heads shows on Fox News and kind of changes that timeline a little bit.
100 days of the start of Donald Trump's presidency. February, March,
Let me find it.
within 100, envoy Keith Kellogg, who is Donald Trump's designee to take care of this, says the new goal is to end the war within 100 days of the start of Donald Trump's presidency. February, March, April, plus 10 days. I guess May 1st is the new deadline. And at that point, Trump can say, turns out it's a little more complicated than I thought. Who knew that this would be so difficult? Here's Keith Kellogg saying 24 hours. No.
We'll set the conditions for the president, and then he'll eventually get to a position where he'll be talking to President Putin and also President Zelensky as well. And I think they're going to come to a solvable solution in the near term.
A solvable solution, great.
So you get the idea. So promises about groceries that he doesn't even know what they are. Promises about gas prices when the oil executives met recently and said, yeah, we're good. We can't drill, baby, drill. We're in a sweet spot right now. We're comfortable there. Promise to lower inflation, actually end inflation. Promised no new wars, and then threatens to invade Greenland, Canada, Mexico, Panama, you name it. He'll do it. And then the promise to end the war. So once again, as a reminder, our nation lost its own identity. Well, confirmed our identity of racists and bigots. We lost democracy because MAGA will be remembered as a disgrace because of what you voted for. And I would ask MAGA to think this through. First of all, asking you to think is a problem. The quickest way to end the war in Ukraine would be for Vladimir Putin to withdraw his troops. Game over. Now you can sit up here and you can share your Russian propaganda and we will call you out on it. But the reality of this circumstance would be for the American president to tell his buddy Vlad that you leave. That's how the war ends. But he won't do that now, will he? Erica, Jess, anything to add?
I'm just trying to do what Buzzy asked me and send emails to senators. The only issue is they all have email forms which you can't fill in if you're outside the United States because they won't let you carry on without putting what state you live in.
Ooh.
And I live in a state of confusion, so I have no idea what to do.
That's so weird. You have to put the state in order to do that.
Many of us live in the state of denial. That's fine.
They're trying to make it as difficult as possible, it seems.
Shocker. So just as the news of the day, everybody, if you mind, please keep tapping and sharing. We're at 100K in just under an hour. So the 4-hour show, we should be on pace for at least 500,000 likes. Is today the day? Let's see how many likes we can get. Please share like crazy. Go ahead.
We need 1 billion likes.
We need a gazillion. Jess math would be a gazillion when it's actually 100.
Yeah, there's 100,000 people in here, guys.
There's 100,000 people in here. Yes. Just so in case you're just waking up, welcome. Thank you for being here. We know that Jack Smith's report is out. It's kind of a reiteration of what we've known all along. A reminder as to what he was charged with for those of you who care. He was charged with, where is it? Conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of and an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights. And the information in Jack Smith's final report reiterated a lot of that information. There was more evidence about how he actually did know that he lost the election. There's testimony from Alyssa Farah Griffith, who was working on the communication teams within the White House, who said when Donald Trump saw Joe Biden during a speech leading up to the inauguration, he said, "I can't believe I lost to this guy." So once again, gullible, hateful, traitorous cowards in our country will be remembered as a disgrace. And your argument against would be the entire system is rigged against him. But Is it really?
They just keep lowering the bar for him. That's what they keep doing. They keep like the bar's already in hell, but like they just keep lowering it for him. So every time he says he's going to do something and he doesn't, they come up with some decoder that like says, "Oh, but what he really meant was," or like what he's really going to do is. And it's like, "Right, but where did you find that information? Because we do this all day every day and we don't fucking know where that is. So please let us know." So they just keep lowering the bar for him, and they held Kamala Harris to such a high standard and such a high bar, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense, and now we're all going to be suffering because you wanted these things that he's not even going to be able to do, which we've been telling you for months.
Good morning, Lainey. I'm sorry, Erica, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, was it Van Jones who said he can be lawless while she has to be flawless? And that's just so true.
Exactly. Lainey, good morning. Good morning, Border Czar. How are you today?
Good morning, sir. So I just got done emailing both of my senators,
Beautiful.
Schumer and Gillibrand, and so I did it from the Senate.gov /senators, and then /senators-contact.htm. And I have a draft letter here if you'd like to put me on the big screen real quick, and I'll get out of the way so people can screenshot it. You might want to turn off your comments. You can do that by just pressing down on the screen and clear comments, and then you can screenshot it real quick. I'll get out of the way now. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, everybody good?
Beautiful.
So, you turned the comments off completely. So that way, anybody who couldn't figure that out, do this now. Go ahead and do a screenshot. I'll get out of the way.
Activism.
Okay,
ladies
perfect.
and gentlemen, thank you. Let me do this and turn them back on. There we go. Okay. Thank you for doing that, Lainey. Border Czar.
No problem.
How are you today?
I'm good. Yesterday was a lot better than the day before. So,
yeah. Let me change the setting back here. So, friends, what we're talking about here, in case you didn't know, is we're talking about Ed Markey's bill that was introduced yesterday on the Senate floor, the Extend TikTok Deadline Act. And what we're asking for is activism and involvement. We're asking for you guys to kind of step up and show us that you truly care about this app. If you do, that's the telephone number. And as Lainey just described, you can go to your congressional leaders' websites. Sometimes some of them have form fields. You can copy the text that Lainey just provided. There should be no excuse. There's 1,100 of you in here. That would be 2,200 emails and or phone calls. It's the least that you all can do. It's the least that you all can do.
They do. Phone calls end up in the ether, but writing it tends to get to them more often, and they just like have a better record of it.
It depends on your senators. I've had good luck. I'm fortunate, but I've had good luck with phone calls. But again, just do both.
But with this, it's super easy. All you have to do is change where it says name in brackets and city and zip in brackets, and just change that to your thing. Make sure to do that so it looks like a human wrote it. I used to be a proofreader, so it is nice and done well grammatically. But if there's anything you want to add, like your personal part of like what, does TikTok provide you with income? Do you get vital information from it? You can give specifics in those areas, right? For mine, I said that I am a live creator who does advocacy for marginalized groups, and that's important to me, and it is my living, so like I added a little bit of personal stuff in there. If you want to do that, that always helps. But you can do easy peasy, just change the name and town and or plug those in and send it off.
Lainey, if you have a chance, maybe pop that into our Discord, just so people
I send it to Jess, so I'm pretty sure Jess is probably already on it. So
thank you. Appreciate that. That's the way to do it. Just real quickly, so there's news about somebody who mentioned this about Elon Musk attempting to buy TikTok. TikTok came out shortly after, said it's just not true, but tweets like this might explain why it's making the rounds again. Elon Musk using his platform of lies and deception to create this idea that he's going to go out and buy TikTok. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So people can stop spewing that nonsense.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody's going to be able to get it without the or with the algorithm. That's the issue. Is that like if ByteDance sells it, they're not selling it with the algorithm, and so TikTok will not be the same.
That's
And so I think either way, it's gonna suck. So
Yeah, I mean,
we're hoping for Neptune or something like that to save us for YouTube to get better. But I think, you know, if we get this delay, that's great. That gives us more time to. That's what I included in the letter. The last line is, please delay it so that people who rely on TikTok for their primary income have time to secure and build a new platform to make a living. So like, that's, you know, I want to give them a practical reason to do this delay, because, you know, otherwise there's going to be a lot of folks who do, like myself, make their primary income from TikTok. And
everyone, that's been posted in the general chat section in our Discord. Thank you, Lainey, and thank you, Jess, for posting that. You can find that information in there, and it's really simple. If you don't want to overthink it, don't just use that. And we're here to try to get the word out. And again, if I have to guilt you all into doing it, then I will. I would be very disappointed and let down if you.
Yeah. Do you want to put a trans person out of work again?
Jeez, guys.
I'm going to channel my 17-year-old daughter.
Puppy
really?
dog eyes.
Is it really necessary for you to contact your senators? Yes, it is. Do it.
I don't know. And everybody feels defeated and like it doesn't help. They don't listen, blah, blah, blah. Like that's how they just get away with doing whatever the hell they want. Like we have to at least let them know that like these are real people that they're affecting with these decisions.
I'm just going to make a quick pin for Red Note one more time because I see a lot of people in the chat. I will just keep repeating it. Red Note is not an option.
Nope.
That's it.
You can't go live on Red Note.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
You're in China.
So, and again, I mentioned this a little bit yesterday about how this is the challenge that we always face on the left, is everybody's going to get their own idea about something they're going to go run off and do. Then we're going to get divided again, and we're not going to consolidate. What my plan is I'm going to go where the heavy hitters are. If that's the place, if it's YouTube, if it's Neptune, if it's Chorus Media, wherever that might be, that's where I'm going to ultimately gravitate if TikTok goes away, just because that would get eyeballs and energy. Right. And I'm just trying to think about having to, rebuild from what we've all created here. But if that's what's necessary to save democracy, then so be it. Good morning, Elizabeth. How are you today? Elizabeth, are you there?
Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to join.
It's no problem. Anything on your mind?
I'm actually driving, so I should go if you don't mind dropping me.
You got it. See you later.
Thank you.
No problem. Wee.
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 My friend is yelling at me.
Yeah, I'm just making an account on all the places that are possible. Even Clapper. I'm there just in case we decide to take it over and make it better. But I'm going to probably be focusing on trying to get YouTube going.
Meg, are you there?
Meg's sawing logs.
Okay, Meg's. It's nap time.
And I'm also I just opened a favorited account as well. So
yeah, I mean, again, links to my various socials that I plan on using are in my link tree. Favorite is there. YouTube is there. We are streaming on YouTube currently. That's ultimately going to be the place we're going to end up. Don't know what that format is going to look like just yet, but address for each senator, by the way, can be found on the senator's website or state's webpage. The following standard address can also be used. The Honorable Senator, insert their name, U.S. Senate, Washington, D.C., 20510. For correspondence to a Senate committee or to a Senate committee chair, again, the name of the committee, United States Senate, Washington, D.C., 20510. Advocacy. Let's see what you guys are made of. Everybody says, I don't know if I can do this, and I think, Jess, you might have mentioned this. Oftentimes people don't want to be public. You may not want to speak out. If you can't do this, then due respect, you're part of the problem. Democracy is not a spectator sport. So get involved.
Somebody asked me why not Instagram. I don't know if you heard, but Meta's new hate speech guidelines permit users to say that LGBTQ people are mentally ill. They basically just removed all, hate speech protections for marginalized people. So the things that are allowed now there, it was bad already. They never enforced any of their terms of services before, but now it is just open season on marginalized
Yeah,
folks.
I am
So,
actually going to be deleting all of my Meta platforms because of
me
this.
too.
I'm not saying that everybody else has to, or that makes you a part of the problem if you don't, but maybe. But I think that we have so much other stuff available now, and as soon as all of this stuff starts coming together, there's almost no reason to have those platforms if you don't want to contribute to the hate speech towards the trans community and the LGBTQIA community.
Yeah,
So.
I'm still there currently just to get transferred if like this ban happens, and then I'm immediately deleting. I do not plan on staying there, and in fact, I could on a whim delete it today. Like I really I don't post there, but I'm using it as a connection. But that's it. Um, so yeah, I would, and also I have a feeling with the way that Zuckerberg has been moving, that they have something. I don't want to say too much, but something to do with the current situation to eliminate left spaces
Agreed.
in
I mean,
social media.
just think about what that would mean. Just saying, we don't give a flying, we don't give a fuck about the facts. We're just going to eliminate fact checkers. Thank you, Leanne. I didn't quite sneeze, but thank you. You saw that. AD, welcome back from your trip. Hopefully, you're still a little irie. I saw that you requested. What is
Yes.
on your mind today, friend?
Well, you were just a little while ago playing the audio, the clip of all the times that Trump was, promised to end the war in Ukraine, et cetera, et cetera. And I saw an interesting article about some of the sanctions on this Russian shadow fleet, right? I don't know if you're aware of, oil is their product that they're funding their ungodly war on Ukraine with. And the G7 put sanctions on that product, of course, in the beginning, whatever. But so Russia being Russia, Russia gonna Russia, Putin gonna Putin, and they figured out a way to sell that oil basically under the table. And they've put sanctions on I believe it's 183 different private fleets now who have been doing this nefarious fuckery. And Biden and the administration, the UK, like the G7, they all got involved and have sanctioned now. And so I'm just pointing this out because I think it's interesting that these sanctions, this kind of last minute push, especially for our White House, Joe Biden's administration, Treasury and all that, it'll be interesting to see if Trump leaves those in place, right? I think we just need to keep an eye out on. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Watch what happens to these sanctions after next week. I'm just curious. So just everybody, if you need to Google some things and figure it out, sanctions on Russian shadow fleet will get you to lots of stuff.
And on that, and yes, absolutely. And just as another reminder, as we're still talking about this TikTok thing, you guys, I don't know if you know the story of a couple weeks back where China hacked the U.S. Treasury.
Okay? Yeah.
So if the United States government was truly concerned about the threat of China, then how come there wasn't more noise regarding the Chinese government hacking the U.S. Treasury? And you think political debate on TikTok is the threat?
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
it's about the influence. It's about the influence of people like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
it's about the influence of feckless cowards in Congress not really wanting to promote free speech and dialogue. So miss me with your bullshit.
And meanwhile, we have Pete Hegseth potentially running the Pentagon. But no, TikTok's the big thing.
Exactly.
Fuck out of here.
I'm going to run real quick. Can somebody do mod announcements, please?
Oh, well, hello. I'm up here already. So everybody better tap, please, please, please. Jess is gone, so I'll just take that on. So yeah, please tap, please consider gifting, please consider sharing. And also, Jess, what am I forgetting? Oh, join the Discord. I know we're talking about where we're all going to end up should this thing go dark. We've all got our places that we gather. Our biggest place that we gather in this community is our Discord, and anything that we talk about from this point forward and guide people to will most likely be there. To Lainey's point, and I know I appreciate you, Lainey, when you're saying like I'm on these platforms just for a connection point. So yes, I am on Blue Sky. We're on Blue Sky. We're on IG. We're on, some of us won't. And if you want to delete those, that's again, yes, that's cool too. Any of the places that you've already followed us at, those will be good places to connect with. And also, mod announcement's going to be, instead of doing anything to share this app, like Steve said, go ahead and share your opinions with your government representatives. That is the best thing you can do for our community and our extended community that we built here.
So, AD, you weren't here yesterday for some of our conversations, and I know that this may be an important issue for you, but we had to exclude Arizona in our
I saw your map, buddy. I'm going to need you to gentrify a little bit in Maricopa County.
Talk to Lainey.
Again, you have to talk to the border czar. I mean, they made it very clear that
you have to bring something to negotiate.
I mean, I'm legit researching
Arizona. Amy Donald lives in Arizona.
Logistically, I don't know like what we can do there. I think
I could just drive to Rocky
need to
Point.
Negotiate with Mexico on that, and maybe you can talk to them about the double bill of getting college.
And go back to the way it used to be. That might
I'd be fine with that. Rocky Point's a 4-hour drive. I'm good. That's the beach.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking of New Mexico. You're Arizona. Sorry.
I know. I mean, we
can't make up your mind.
I know. I'm okay with swinging.
Thing going on, like it's dicey.
No, I don't kink shame anybody, but I mean, this is a little ridiculous.
All right, I want to talk about something else real quick, and I'll bring up Political Mama in just a couple minutes here. But there was this other reporting, again, because this doesn't get talked about enough. Let's see if I can find it. By the way, Joe Biden canceling more student debts for another 150,000 borrowers. I would like to make this statement, is that he's been fighting against the court system since day one. He's been doing everything he possibly can to try to get as much student debt forgiven as possible. And I think that there should be some credit given there. And I'm going to share some of his...
Joe Byron.
Yeah, exactly. But on that topic, let me do this first, because again, stories that don't get reported, they don't get covered by our mainstream media because it makes the president look bad. More than 22 million households could see their food budgets shrink as part of the Republican agenda to reduce federal spending. Republicans are considering an array of cuts to social programs in order to save the government money, including a change to the way benefits are calculated under the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. Benefits would shrink across the board under a SNAP cut included on a list first obtained by Politico of, quote, spending reform options House Republicans are looking at. The reform would change the way SNAP benefits are calculated, saving $247 billion cuts on a list that adds up to more than $5 trillion overall. This is the math. $350 per month on average for 22 million Americans. $350 a month.
Which is a crap ton of food.
For 22 million households. $350 a month for people who need it. For 22 million American households. The benefits can be used at grocery stores, and food at grocery stores. Republicans have long complained that the program supports people in idleness, discouraging them from taking available jobs. $350 a month. Discouraging them from taking
teaching, I'm mentoring. Apparently, it's simping for votes that the others don't know about. Paul, you might want to check your calendar. The election.
In over 50 years.
In the next 2 years, if that stuff starts going down, who are you going to blame? Ghostbusters?
On Monday, on Friday, if Friday happens to be our last show on TikTok, we will share the actual average price for eggs, the average price for gas,
this day in history,
where the Dow Jones is, and we're going to mark it for posterity purposes.
We need a baseline.
We do.
So I got to go do capitalism stuff, but I just wanted to share a little story to give you some just, I don't know, lift you up, and also you, Jess. Darius and I, of course, been having a lot of conversations because I think every household we are right now. And he was listening to I was on the boat. He was listening to the live on Friday that you did. And apparently, Jess, you handled some very misogynistic man. Multiple times, I'm sure. But he particularly, I think, messaged you directly about it. And has been moved, and not that he's
trivia question. What's
sorry?
He's not that he's a misogynist, but he recognized some blind spots that even he had in being my partner, right? And so I just want to, not only you, Jess, and you, Steve, everyone on this app that comes up here, Steve, just thank you for holding this space, for letting those voices happen. Because if I know your advocacy, I know how much it means to you to be an accomplice in the fight, right? And you were very much an accomplice, and even brought some things to light for my very, very self-aware, amazing, I would choose him over the bear partner. And so thank you both for, even while I'm on vacation, y'all are holding it down and doing the thing. And so just wanted to give you some flowers.
Thank you, AD. We appreciate that so much.
Love you, AD. WAD's husband in the chat.
Agreed.
Because that's a real fucking man.
Yes.
W Darius.
That's a real man.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. I'm going to be around. I got to do capitalism stuff, but I'm definitely going to be here all week. So.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Chelsea. How are you?
Hey, guys. I'm good.
What's going on?
Just coming up with my next video to make later. I've been combating all that.
As a reminder, friends, the number above Political Mop's head is the Congressional Switchboard, 202-224-3121. That would be our ask is for you to contact your senators and your representatives to Congress and ask them to vote in support of that Markey's Extend the TikTok Deadline Act. You can also use an amazing email that Lainey crafted that's posted in our Discord. I would recommend you call, you email, you use carrier pigeon, smoke signals. I do not care. Just do it. And if you don't do it, I'll be honest, I would consider that lame. All we're asking for is a phone call. All we're asking for is an email. It shouldn't take more than 10 minutes out of your day. You can leave a message. You can email. Just do it. Okay. I found this nugget because, of course, the rhetoric and the hate and the absolute disgust of the lies that the Trump and the incoming Trump administration and their voices on Fox News have told about the California wildfires. I just want to remind people of some things because California wildfires happened during the Trump administration as well. And you guys may remember this famous press conference, but this just goes to show you who is about to take office. Just listen.
From our perspective, there is amazing partnership on the ground, and there needs to be. As the governor said, we've had temperatures explode this summer. You may have learned that we broke a world record in the Death Valley, 130 degrees. But even in greater LA, 120 plus degrees. And we're seeing this warming trend make our summers warmer, but also our winters warmer as well. So I think one area of mutual agreement and priority is vegetation management. But I think we want to work with you to really recognize the changing climate and what it means to our forests and actually work together with that science. That science is going to be key, because if we ignore that science and sort of put our head in the sand and think it's all about vegetation management, we're not going to succeed together protecting Californians.
Okay. It'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Well, I don't think science knows, actually.
He doesn't
You heard
think
it.
so.
What?
You heard it. I'll play that again.
We're not going to succeed together protecting Californians.
Okay. It'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Well, I don't think science knows, actually.
It'll start getting cooler.
That laugh was an anxious laugh.
Just watch.
Did you
Just
hear
watch.
that?
It'll start getting cooler. It's not funny. Exactly. It's not funny. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. He doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know what climate change is. He doesn't know what our planet warming means. In his mind, you can just rake the forests, and he thinks it'll get cooler. And I remember a White House press conference or a sort of impromptu presser in D.C. when it was like 25 degrees in D.C. and his argument was like, see, climate's not getting warm. History will remember Trump supporters as a disgrace.
My laugh was like an anxious laugh. Like, no, he didn't just.
Yeah, it's
say
like
that.
exasperated at the silliness of a person that just won the presidency again.
I want to know if any
Science doesn't
supporters. I want to know if any Trump supporters want to come up here and tell us about these disasters and all this stuff. Because all week I've been sitting here pulling Republican clip after clip after clip and refuting every single thing they say.
Did you hear what Tucker Carlson said about the fires?
No, what did he say?
He said
yeah.
it's because of abortion
That was
and
crazy.
eating infants.
Yes.
All kinds of goofy
Human
shit.
sacrifice
Yeah,
and
yeah,
abortion cause hurricanes.
Cause fires
Yeah.
and yeah.
I want to read this again. Everybody, please keep tapping and sharing. Please gift our amazing panelists. I want to remind folks again, Pete Hegseth, multiple marriages, multiple examples of violence, said that he wouldn't drink on the job, which was great. I'm glad to hear you say that, Pete. Apparently,
Weird
witnesses,
thing to say in an interview, right?
I know, witnesses were paid off. I just want you to remember what he says. Okay, this is really important.
Pete Hegseth will make a great Secretary of Defense. He has my complete and total support. Good luck today, Pete.
Tells you all you need to know. Tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
My complete and total support.
Can we talk about
a
like, the
person?
process? Can we talk about the processes? So people think that like this is confirmation. So every person has to go through through a Senate committee that has to do with their position in order to go into Senate confirmations.
Correct.
So that's what today is for Pete Hegseth. He's at the Armed Service Committee, and he will be either given a thumbs up or thumbs down to head and proceed to the Senate confirmation. Today is also the House Speaker vote for the state of Texas, which is a banana show. And I just hope everybody's thinking about us out down here.
So, and just as a reminder, I'm sorry, go ahead, lady.
I just got distracted by the thought of banana show. Sorry. I'm
just
assuming you don't mean like a good kind.
As a reminder, Donald Trump just said Pete Hegseth will make a great, in all caps. I'm sorry, I can't do it that way.
Pete Hegseth will make a great Secretary of Defense. He has my complete and total support. Good luck today, Pete.
Complete and total support. And this is a story from AP. The headline of this story is Police Report Reveals Assault Allegations Against Hegseth, Trump's pick for defense secretary. A woman told police that she was assaulted in 2017 by Pete Hegseth after he took her phone, blocked the door to a California hotel room, and refused to let her leave, according to a detailed investigative report made public this past week, or this is dated November 21st of this year. Hegseth, the former Fox News personality and Trump's nominee to be defense secretary, told police at the time the encounter had been consensual and denied any wrongdoing. News of the allegations surfaced, and he released the news of the allegations surfaced when local officials released a brief statement confirming that a woman had accused Hegseth of SA in October after he'd spoken at a Republican women's event in Monterey. The matter was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared, said Hegseth. The report does not say that any police found allegations were false. The police recommended that the case be reported. Monterey District Attorney Janine Passioni said Thursday that her office declined to file charges, because they did not feel like they had proof beyond reasonable doubt. This is the third allegation against him. His ex-wives have said the same. Again, believe what you want, but I think it's interesting that a person who's an adjudicated sexual predator, of course, would have complete and total support of another sexual abuser. Not surprised. All right, friends, tapping is clapping and sharing is caring. Again, please consider gifting our panelists. My pay-ups are above my head. Please consider helping us get through this week. Living the dream. I'm sorry. How are you today?
Good. Can I just say, how in America are we okay with somebody with this kind of baggage, right? Let's just say some of it's true, some of it's not. Why are we okay with this guy running that in Oklahoma, they want to make it illegal. Well, they're going to make it illegal to help any homeless person with warming stations, anything, if the town is less than 300,000 people, which is pretty much all of Oklahoma. I mean, it's constant. Here in Texas, I just read, they want to go after librarians with the bounty law.
We're actually going after librarians and trans people.
Trans
but
people,
you don't,
yeah.
you don't actually need proof of that.
None
so,
of it.
When
So
we talk about that HR that was passed in Odessa, right?
yeah,
For trans
I'm just,
people,
guys, why is this our reality? This is like
so bad. You don't
insanity.
actually need any proof to go ahead and collect the bounty. You just need the police to charge them, and that's it. That's crazy that you can just go around accusing people of things.
Well, and that's the problem with that immigration they want to put through, the law that they're trying to pass right now. Well, no, it's the Lake and Riley thing. Is let's say you just want to accuse someone of shoplifting, okay? You know that they're undocumented. You just accuse them of shoplifting. Before they get due process or anything, if they land in jail because they're accused of it, that's enough. With no due process, they get deported. That's it. That's it. That's all you have to do.
And now we have Tom Homan talking about instituting a hotline if you see someone that might look like they're an undocumented immigrant. This is Yahtzee Germany. So the right does not like it when we make comparisons, but this is what this is. This is what this is. This is brown
What can
shirts
we
walking.
do, guys?
This
I mean,
is brown shirts walking down the street. This is the SS. Talk man for now. Make sure you're getting involved in your community to find a cause. Don't be silent. Don't be exhausted. Part of this is the distraction. They want you to give in, but don't.
And I live in Texas. I mean, it's like the most oppressed state you could imagine. They just keep on doing as many cruel things and seeing how many will stick, you know?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm here.
Thanks for being here today, living the dream. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Can we read what I sent you because it's pretty funny?
Sure.
Yeah.
The hearings have started for Pete Hegseth in the Armed Services Committee. So basically, there's various committees depending on the cabinet position. Armed Services is the one that does the initial hearing for Pete Hegseth, right? Marsha Blackburn, this was her tweet. We've had a long line from Senator from Tennessee. We've had a long line of supposedly qualified secretaries of defense. Yeah, like the current one, Lloyd Austin, incredibly qualified, by the way. What has that gotten us? 2 lost wars, a force that has been ground down, a moral and recruiting crisis, a morale and recruiting crisis, an inability to innovate and technological edge we are barely clinging to. We need change at the Department of Defense.
So we're going to put a not qualified person in and hope that that works.
In a serial sexual abuser.
Yes.
That tracks.
That makes sense, Chelsea.
That was your change, is you were like, oh, I don't like all of these qualified people. No. I need unqualified people for this position, okay?
That totally tracks. So again, Marsha Blackburn will have a vote, and she will excuse his sexual assault allegations and not even consider them. He has no qualifications whatsoever to be the Secretary of Defense. And then she's sitting up here using her platform to say, we've got no one who's been qualified. Lloyd Austin not qualified. People in the past are not qualified. Weird. Maribel, how are you today? Maribel?
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning. Hey, so I'm confused and scared. I'm not scared, but I'm scared. It's scary to think. Hopefully none of all this stuff happens with deportation. But can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Yep.
Okay. I'm Mexican American. My mom was born here. I'm born here. My grandparents, I don't know if they legally got here. If somebody wants to sit there and say, hey, they're illegal, like, what do I need to do? Legally, do I have to say, here's my birth certificate and here's all this stuff? Or what am I doing?
You mean like if you're pulled over or,
Right.
No. So this is the issue, and it's a fair question. You are presumed innocent in our country. That's part of that. That's how the law works. You are not obligated. There needs to be reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime. You are not required to present your identification. You are not required to show where your progress. You have a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. If you are pulled over, unless the officers involved can reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime, suspicion is not a crime. Reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime. They cannot just demand your documents. They cannot. You can immediately claim your Fifth Amendment rights. You can immediately say, I do not answer questions. I do not subject to searches and seizures. You're not even required to produce your documentation, your driver's license, your registration, your insurance, unless they can articulate a crime. So this is what we're talking about. People who don't understand our Constitution, anybody in our country is protected. Anyone is protected under the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment addresses citizenship, and they also I'll find it specifically. The language specifically that any and all persons in our country are protected for under due process, which is why this deportation element is really interesting, because no one can answer how that would work. It would violate people's constitutional rights. Because what? They have brown skin? So everybody know your rights. It's important. Carry your Constitution with you. It's really, really important that you know your rights, that you know what you're up against.
The scary part about that is, Steve, and we've seen it happen all over the country. We've seen it happen all over the place. The scary thing about that is cops don't care about that. Some, not all. Not all cops are bad. So when you're pulled over and you try to say, I don't have to give that to you, or I know my rights and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't always work. And it definitely does not work for people of color. So that is not a suggestion if you are a person of color in this chat to do, please. Absolutely not.
Yes. Don't forget, they want to extend immunity. So the 14th Amendment This is the citizenship component. All people born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States and state that they live in. And then the equal protection. No state can make or enforce laws that take away the rights of citizens. And then due process. No state can take away a person's life, liberty, or property without following due process law. Meaning that if you are in our country, whether or not you're undocumented or not, you have rights under the Constitution. You are not required. Again, I cannot speak on behalf of any marginalized group. I understand. I've never had to have the talk. I've never had to have that, right? Many people have. But know your rights. It's extremely important to know your rights. You do not have to say a word at a traffic stop and record it. You have the right to record it. They cannot deny you that. It is your protection. And we are sadly in a state now where they want to extend immunity to police officers.
Okay, but you're saying in all reality, I get pulled over for speeding, or not stopping at a stop sign. I can say I'm not giving you my information.
No, that's different. That's different.
Okay.
If
you're speeding.
But you're breaking the law.
Right. So if you have to tell them, like, if they say to you, do you know why I pulled you over? That's part of the game that the law enforcement likes to play to put you in a position where you confess to a crime. Okay? They need to provide you information. If they are going to cite you for speeding, then that would be a crime, a moving violation. You're not required to tell them where you're going and why. You're not required to answer questions if they ask you, did you have anything to drink today? You're not required to answer any of that. Any of that. Individual circumstances present themselves. I get it. But again, it's really important to know your rights. Always important. And everybody should know their rights.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys. I've been listening since before the election, and
thank you. Appreciate you, Mary.
We'll see you on YouTube if anything. Thank you.
You will see us on YouTube. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. And I want to be very careful. And I live in I'm entitled. I'm a white cis hetero male in society. I've got every privilege afforded to me. I don't have to worry about that. I've not given the call, but I've not been given the talk. But know your rights. We live in a nation of laws, and you have rights. You're not, just because someone said or told you to, just because a law enforcement officer might be aggressive, you can record them. You can record the entire interaction. You can record in public. If you are in public, anything you see from public, you can record. Jess knows this, and some kind of the work you do. I mean, this is people don't know their rights in our country, and I think that's an opportunity for us to learn more. Everybody keep tapping and sharing. Please join the team if you haven't already. Good morning, Dan. How are you today?
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
I'm all right, brother. What's going on?
Good. Yeah, I'm just listening to you and listening to you off and on. And I know you guys drift around to different topics and stuff, but one thing I was going to talk about with the selection of the defense secretary, and I think it was Blackburn that cited the poor recruitment efforts of the Army. And I have to ask the question, why would any young person these days even sign up to join the Army if they're just fighting a war for the oligarchy?
It's a fair question. I mean, people join for a variety of reasons. If Lainey's willing to share why it was that you decided to volunteer.
Student loan repayment.
There you go.
Yeah.
Student loan repayment, GI Bill.
Yeah. So a lot of times it's either for school you've already done or school you want to go to. And for a lot of folks, like, that is the quickest way to be able to do that. I also, then right around the time that I left was when a lot of people were signing up, right? Because it was right after 9/11. So...
Right, patriotism things, yeah.
So there's that as well. There's a lot of folks that do it for family tradition. So it's almost like expected. Or, it's just something that, like, they look up to their parents, their grandparents, and they want to continue that tradition. So there's a lot of different reasons. But for a lot of folks, it is just like a sort of guaranteed way to, get income, gain skills, And I don't think many people join thinking that, like, I'm probably going to unalive or have PTSD. You know what I mean? I think a lot of folks, they're very young usually when they sign up.
Yeah.
They think they're indestructible.
Right.
Right.
Invincible.
And why do you think they recruit in high schools?
Right.
Exactly. I
Well,
mean,
they want the
keep in mind, and keep in mind also too, Dan. Some people, I mean, Obi's been very candid with his reasons. People feeling lost in life. People feeling if they don't do that, it's going to be the army or
It's to have
jail
a
or worse.
purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So everybody has their own reasons for signing up. We know recruitment's down, but it's been steadily declining.
Yeah.
We fight wars in different ways these days. You know, it's not the same. It's not the same approach to things. But you make a good argument. You know, especially people that represent marginalized groups. They've never been supported by their government. Why would they defend it?
Yeah.
In
Exactly.
fact, though, the trans people are enroll in the military at a higher rate than cisgender people do.
Is that relatively recent?
Yeah, yeah. You know, obviously there was a hiccup during Trump's first term, but once that ban was lifted, yeah. And you know, to again, for people who are in, you know, situations where it is difficult to get employment, you know, if the military is not going to turn you away, if you can pass the ASVAB and pass the PT test, and are, you know, deemed fit to serve, then it is a great option for you to have your medical coverage. You know, government coverage is typically pretty decent. And so it's a good option for trans individuals who are intending to, you know, physically transition. You know, I wouldn't say it's the perfect option, but it is an option. And you know, we do face like discrimination in employment a lot of times, and now that's about to be taken as well. So just yet another way.
And Dan, keep this in mind. This is from Agenda 47, also from Project 2025, incorporated into Trump's platform on Chapter 10, Return to Peace Through Strength. The category is modernizing the military. Republicans will ensure our military is the most modern, lethal, and powerful force in the world. We will invest in cutting-edge research and advanced technologies, including an Iron Dome missile shield, support our troops with higher pay, and get woke left-wing Democrats fired as soon as possible. Doesn't exactly sound like a very welcoming message.
Not at all. Yeah.
A dome. A dome.
Yeah, a dome. We need a dome. But we've got homeless vets, but we need to invade Denmark to get Greenland, Canada, rename the Panama, take the Panama Canal, rename the Gulf of Mexico, and build an Iron Dome.
And build a dome.
Take away SNAP benefits. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
I will note too that like recruitment didn't go up significantly after 9/11 either. Like I'm looking at active duty levels from 74 to 2023. It peaked around 1988 and started drastically dropping down to it sort of dropped to its lowest or to a low point around 2000 and just kind of stayed steady and is slightly still on a slight decline since then.
Like somebody just made this comment in regards to the Iron Dome. I remember a press conference when he was talking about the dome and he was doing it like this, like he literally thinks it's a dome.
Yep.
Like you'd put over a stadium.
That's why I did it.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, the Iron Dome is Israel's defense shield, where it's basically it protects the skies above their country. So, but thanks for jumping in today, Dan. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Steve.
You got it. See you later.
Can you mod? I'm gonna comment. And can you mod my other account so that I can mod from there? Hold on. I'm commenting on my backup. There you go. It's commented. I said New Jersey is going to Cantifa.
Okay. No, I don't think that's the case. We have to again. You got to ask the borders are. It's not up to me.
You already know.
We already decided that.
Okay, but again, but you keep pushing. Maybe just some advice. Maybe you not stir up so much controversy and just accept your invitation graciously. I'm just saying.
It's who I am, Steve. You wouldn't love me if I didn't stir up controversy.
That's probably true. We know that our southeastern flank of Cantiva is protected because of New Jersey. Hi, Obi. How are you?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
We're all right, brother. You doing good out there still?
Hi, Obi.
Yeah, we're just kind of sitting and waiting for the winds to kick up. But I think that may not happen, which is good because the firefighters who seem to not get mentioned in all of this are continuing to do the best that they can. And one of the things I was hoping Amy Dawn was still going to be up here. Firefighters, generally speaking, during these times get kind of ignored, right? Yeah. They're the ones actually doing all the work. That and the crazy ass motherfucker pilots. And I don't know if you've seen this shit.
Unbelievable. Crazy. Like
when we talk about somebody
flying 707s, like in between canyons,
sideways,
crazy.
Yeah, awesome. Like Top Gun is cool, but that shit is like actually real, right?
Unreal.
And what's crazy is they film in the cockpit and they're just like having conversations.
Yeah, like normal.
Like right. Like, of course, this is normal to turn a jet sideways and dump fire retardant or water in the middle. In fire.
We wouldn't be in Southern California, guys. Sweep up them leaves, and they wouldn't have these problems.
Speaking of those, like the Canadian planes that literally fly down, they scoop up the water. I was watching an interview with a pilot. They say it's basically like going from 150 miles an hour to 40, because as soon as they hit the water, they're starting to suck up the water through these little vents, and it's like
yeah.
And then as soon as the vents go back up again, they punch it. So it's like, and they're just doing this like around the clock. Canada and Mexico, by the way, showing up to help us out. But of course,
you can just search it, Kamala Yomamala. It's a cool name. You can just search it. There's on TikTok. There's so many videos on TikTok. People put like a bunch of compilations together of the videos of the flyers like doing all like that. Takes some fucking skill.
And on this topic, and somebody just mentioned it, I want to call this out because obviously the LA wildfire is getting a lot of attention, as they should. But South Sudan has been on fire for weeks. There are fires raging in South America. There are fires raging in East Asia. There are fires raging in the outback in Australia. So I think it's worthwhile to mention that this is a global. Obi and I were talking about this. Yes, it's a tragedy, and there's no doubt about it. But it's fucking criminal that this is that this has been allowed to happen at such a global scale. So. Climate deniers are almost as bad as flurfers. They might be the same thing.
It's almost as if climate science is an actual science.
Yeah,
almost. But let's not go too crazy.
Right.
The other point too, and Jon Stewart pointed it out recently, but just to preamble that, like, do y'all remember like Joe Biden or Kamala or any like Democratic senators or legislators when all the hurricanes were happening saying, well, these Republicans are mismanaging their states, and therefore we are going to withhold aid.
Right.
Do you remember that happening?
Never.
Because I don't, but I am seeing a lot of Republicans, including Mike Johnson, wanting to put conditions on aid to California, and blaming Democratic leadership for fires happening in during a drought and Santa Ana winds.
We control the weather, though. Democrats control the weather. So
you can't extort. This is one thing. First of all, Mike Johnson doesn't have the votes to do what he originally wanted to do, which was raise the debt ceiling. So then he resorts to putting it in a package, which goes against those Republican single spending bills that they were raving about for freaking months.
Well, that's how the TikTok ban happened, because they shoveled that into
extorting
a
state, a state because you don't agree with their policies, and withholding aid is extorting.
Tri-Valley for life.
You are literally, extorting the state of California. And what's funny about this whole thing is all I've heard is about these like $700 payments and how California got everything everybody else didn't get. But that's just simply not true. Every single state that has had a disaster has gotten 100% coverage for 180 days. They've all gotten the same payments. Do you know who didn't get the same payments though? All the disasters under Trump got $500. Where was all your bitching when it was $500 for initial payments? Because the last wildfire in 2018 that they had, oh, guess what? $500 per person. I didn't hear one freaking Republican bitch about that. I didn't hear them withholding anything.
This is a post on Live Social.
Release the water, new scum. What is wrong with you? Signed, DJT.
So about the water, like he's talking about the water from the north. Let's just really go through this because California has this water safety plan, right? And only 30% of the water from the north was ever coming down. And in his next post, he said, you should have done it 8 years ago. Gavin Newsom wasn't the mayor or the governor 8 years ago. I don't understand why people can't get this correct. Gavin Newsom has only been the governor of California since January of 2019. If you wanted to be bad 8 years ago, you should have brought that up with Jerry Brown when he was the governor. But you didn't. You didn't get mad then. You're only mad because it's Newsom and you don't like him. And that's fine, but don't take it out on the people that didn't deserve it. Because in 2021, they put together a fire safety wildlife course that worked with CAL FIRE. They put together policies for the water safety. People just don't want to acknowledge that. The fact that this was a residential started fire, which escalated it to 5 times the amount that any water would be able to solve. All 114 tanks were filled with water. There was 3 billion gallons of water in 3 of the biggest tanks from the top of the hills. Like, you guys have to understand that they have pressure that has to go down. So when power lines were being cut in the residential areas, those pumps were also connected to the power. So that's why some of the fire hydrants didn't work, but nobody wants to acknowledge that. They just want to create a narrative or read a headline, and none of it is factual. So I'm just going to sit here every day and tell all these freaking people that they're wrong. And if you guys want to tag me in videos where Republicans are spreading some bullshit, I will literally spend my days combating it all day long.
So,
Steve, can you play the video of Trump talking about the faucets and how they want us to take showers with drip, drip, drip?
Yes, I have that. Engage with yourselves, y'all, while I find it. I'll find it. I didn't book it.
I do believe if people have a drip, 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 there may be a shot or a pill to fix that for you. Also, I would recommend as adults using prophylactics and practicing safe sexual encounters so that you don't get a drip, drip, drip. But listen, this is just me. What do I know? I'm just a cis hetero male who happens to like sex, but
Maybe I'll tell you that we're twins. We literally have exactly the same interests.
It's really kind of crazy.
Yep.
Right? I mean, I guess I've never had a sister, so maybe somehow, as opposed to me being your parent, which is also logistically possible because I'm old as fuck. Maybe I'll just adopt you as my baby sister.
Let's go. Let's go. You and Jen can adopt me as anything, just as long as I get the fuck out of here. Twin generations apart. Yes.
Hey, the door here in Los Angeles is open, especially to those that really do need a safe exit. We're more than happy to host. I just literally, because I have really bad OCD, so I rearranged the living room and the family room, moved all the furniture around, did a deep cleaning so that if we had to throw a whole bunch of air mattresses on the floor for people to come stay, we can. So I'm just saying.
Okay.
Also, I'm a pretty fucking good cook. So
this is
if you're
embarrassing
hungry
for you, MAGA, but you can listen to this.
Faucets. You ever try buying a new home and you turn on, they have restrictors in there. You want to wash your hair, or you want to wash your hands.
You turn on the water and it goes drip, drip. The soap, you can't get it off your hair. So you keep it running for about 10 times longer. You're trying. The worst is your hair. I have this beautiful luxuriant hair.
Luxuriant?
And I put stuff on. And I put it in. Lather. I like lots of lather because I like it to come out extremely dry because it seems to be slightly thicker that way. Lather. I like seems to. They put restrictors, and they put them on in places like here where there's so much water you don't know what to do with it. You know, it's called rain. It rains a lot in certain places. But no, their idea, you know, did you see the other day? They just put, I opened it up and they closed it again. I opened it, they close it. Washing machines to wash your dishes. There's a problem. They don't want you to have any water.
They're called dishwashers.
You keep it running for about 10 times longer. You keep it running for about...
Yeah, washing machines
What?
are for clothes. Like drip, drip, drip. First of all, I need to get the visual of Trump lathering out of my brain, like right now.
Wait, because he wants his hair extremely dry.
Yeah,
so in other
luxuriant.
words, no conditioner.
Right, luxuriant.
This is going to be the president of the United States, guys. Like, I can't get this. Like, I can't get this across hard enough.
I'm sorry, I got to play this again.
Play it all the way through.
Washing machine.
Since you ever try buying a new home and you turn on, they have restrictors in there. You want to wash your hair, or you want to wash your hands. You turn on the water and it goes drip, drip. The soap, you can't get it off your hair. So you keep it running for about 10 times longer. You're trying.
Like, where is
the
this
worst is your
happening?
hair. I have this beautiful luxuriant hair.
Luxuriant?
And I put stuff on.
Luxuriant,
I put it
dry,
in. Lather. I like lots of lather because I like it to come out extremely dry because it seems to be slightly thicker that way.
Itchy.
And I lather up, and then
flaky.
you turn on this crazy shower, and the thing drip.
The crazy
drip. And you say, "I'm going to be here for 45 minutes." What the? They put restrictors, and they put them on in places like here where there's so much water you don't know what to do with it. You know, it's called rain. It rains a lot in certain places.
Is that where?
But no, their idea. You know, did you see the other day? They just put, I opened it up and they closed it again. I opened it, they close it. Washing machines to wash your dishes.
What was opened and closed?
There's a problem. They don't want you to have any water. They want no water. And
Ladies and gentlemen, the 47th president of the United States.
Wash your dishes.
History
I don't think
will
he's
remember
ever-
Trump supporters as a disgrace.
I don't think he's ever operated a single piece of machinery in his life.
Has nobody ever heard that video before? Was that news to you guys? That was a good one, right?
No, I've heard of. And then there's the big faucet.
Yeah, the gigantic faucet in Northern
Yeah, the big
California. And
faucet.
I mean, listen, we got to be real. Obi's been holding the key, so that he's got the key to the
Hey,
gigantic faucet.
listen.
Sorry.
I am the national director of the George Soros Los Angeles County Space Laser Center. And it is true, I do hold the wrench to the Hetch Hetchy watershed in Northern California because I am a part of the Jewish cabal. And because I have an Italian name, I get to hide in plain sight and people don't know that I'm Jewish. So this is all a part of my diabolical plan to take over the world.
So remember we talked about the connections that we made from Panama and Greenland and Canada, and we know that Russia is connected to all those. Well, we also know that the obvious the facts of climate change are real for those of us who always believe it, but even people in Trump's inner circle believe it. So there's an op-ed recently submitted by a gentleman by the name of Mike Herodopoulos. This was posted on the Washington Reporter, which is so left-wing. This is what he's talking about in regards to Greenland. Again, listen between the lines. President Trump made headlines when he introduced the idea that America should acquire Greenland. The result in the media was expected, with liberal outlets either decrying the idea as imperialist and expansionist or downplaying it as unserious and pointless. This attitude, however, could not be more wrong. It would be foolish to dismiss the possibility of acquiring Greenland, and there are many good reasons to take President Trump's idea seriously. While to many, the Arctic appears simply a rugged, frozen wilderness, frozen being the key, this region is already of great importance to America's national security, and in the coming years, its importance is only going to grow. Greenland's position in the Arctic Circle and the abundance of critical minerals beneath it make a compelling case for its importance. Friends, why would those minerals become accessible? Gee, I don't know. Maybe because the polar fucking ice cap is melting. As a result of Jewish space laser direct assaults on the polar ice cap. So, again, here we are with climate deniers literally admitting that the climate is warming and the globe is warming and we are facing the point of no return, saying that, yeah, we should get Greenland because of all those minerals that are going to be suddenly exposed because of the climate warming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Sure. Yeah, that's sure. Lots of logic can be found there.
Totally.
Said no one ever.
Said no one ever. Yeah. So we were talking earlier, Obi, and you've disclosed this and you've been honest about it. And Dan had asked the question about, no wonder why recruitment is down. No wonder why people aren't volunteering for the service as much as they were. You shared your story. I don't know if you want to again as to why people. Everybody makes their own individual decision as to whether or not they want to do it. But yours, I think, is probably not dissimilar to many.
Chelsea got reported for misinformation. That's why she jumped down.
Okay, I thought maybe wonder where she went. But.
Interesting. Misinformation by stating facts. Tri-Valley for life. 1986, I was literally lost as an individual. I couldn't find a job in 1986. Most people couldn't find a job because the economy was shit. Oh, let's see. Who was president in 1986? Right, a Republican. And my father was in the Navy. His father was in the Navy. My mother's father was in the Navy. Do you get where I'm going with this?
Gotcha.
So I knew about the Navy. And I knew that I just wanted to literally get the fuck out of town. And so not because of any patriotic
exactly
act. Right? I just got up and I was like, fuck this shit. And I went to the recruiter's office and I said, how soon can I leave? Which, of course, for anybody who's ever served, the recruiter was like, well, have a seat. And a couple weeks later, I was down in San Diego for boot camp. So, most of the guys, because the Navy wasn't co-ed at all back then, that also joined because judges used to give people the option of joining the military or going to jail. So think about that, right? And so
so your reason
really
was self-preservation in your mind.
Yeah. In short, yes. So that I like that. Can I borrow that?
Sure.
That'd be some kind of a cool T-shirt idea. I think also it's important, Lainey. I did hear you talk about recruitment numbers. It peaked from 1986 to 1988. We saw the largest recruitment. And do you want to know one of the reasons, which is really funny, but it's actually true? The movie Top Gun is noted as the literal rise in recruiting because it was so great at telling a fantasy that everybody wanted to be either on an aircraft carrier or a naval aviator, right? Or have a uniform that, in quotes, the ladies thought was hot. So
never close your eyes.
Nice.
Anymore when I kiss your lips. I'll stop now.
Do 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 do.
Half the chat just left. Shad, thank you for being here. Thank you for your request. What's on your mind today?
Okay, so all I have to say is everyone should go on YouTube and search Bill Nye's Global Meltdown. It's a deep dive into why global warming is such a big issue, and it's not really so much the what's going to end our lives. It's the there's the methane gas is that's what's trapped underneath the polar ice caps, and once they melt, that's what's going to end our lives.
Yeah, there's all kinds of evidence, but apparently science doesn't matter. Only rhetoric and right-wing bullshit does.
Hey, can we just let's be gentle when we're saying things like that. You hurt a piece of my soul. It's bad enough that you hate mathematics. Why is it that you also have to denigrate science?
That's fair. Don't hate math, but I rely on others to execute.
I have one rebuttal for you, both you guys. I love science, but the only thing I love more than science is better science.
Ooh.
Yes. Trump that, yes.
Thanks for jumping in, Chad.
Yeah, you're
very
welcome.
much. See you later.
Bye.
So apparently there's been a couple of outbursts at the hearing for Pete Hegseth today.
Really? Outbursts?
Yeah, isn't qualified to meet the demands of the defense secretary. This is his opening statement. If you'd like me to read some of it, do I want to?
I enjoy a good outburst.
I'll read a little bit of it. Thank you, Chairman Wicker, Ranking Member Reed, and all members of this committee for an opportunity today. I'm grateful for and learned a great deal from this advise and consent process. Should I be confirmed, I look forward to working with the committee's senators for both parties to secure our nation, and I'll give up drinking. He didn't say that, but he said that. I want to thank the former senator from Minnesota, Norm Coleman, for his mentorship and friendship. Whatever, I'm not interested. I don't fucking care. We'll keep an eye on it as it goes throughout the day. I think this is going to be a very interesting confirmation. If he gets confirmed, that basically means that Republicans who've always stood by for a strong military and the best people involved in leading our nation's defense and our men and women who've served, this will be another example of their hypocrisy and idiocy. Because if this guy gets confirmed with literally no experience and no qualifications whatsoever, then they lose whatever little bit of credibility they had left.
Can I gently push back on that? Just ever so gently. He did serve.
Well, yeah, I know that.
And hold on, he does have combat experience. Okay. And I get that we don't want to give him any flowers, but I want to be extremely careful on how we phrase this. He is not suited to be the Secretary of Defense, but to say that he doesn't have any qualifications, I think would be doing a disservice for service members like him who do have experience.
I'm going to push back on that.
Then went to graduate school and got a master's in public policy, because that happens an awful lot in the military. And I just want to be careful that if we're going to say certain things, I think we are obligated to always speak truth to power. And the truth is, he is a decorated veteran. He did serve. Yes, he is a total piece of shit, but I don't think it's appropriate to dismiss it, because one of the things that on the left we have always insisted upon in all of these confirmations is that the person wanting to be the defense secretary, one has to have a background in the military and or have worked in the intelligence community, and two, would have an advanced degree. So these are standards that we have insisted upon during multiple defense secretary hearings. And I just because I work with so many men and women, veterans.
Okay. But
I'm
gonna
you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to push
Yeah,
back
go ahead.
because I'll push back because we know of his numerous sexual assault allegations. We know that he mishandled money in regards to the campaign fund or the fund that he ran, Vets for Freedom, including inappropriate expenses such as parties. One former associate of the group described as trysts to the New York Magazine. History of controversial comments and policy suggestions. He's criticized efforts to allow women into combat roles, accusing the military of lowering standards to allow women into those jobs. He has remained defiant, saying that none of these allegations are true. I would say that makes him unqualified. If you have that approach to women and members of the trans community serving their nation, then I think that makes you unqualified.
Okay, it was the way in which you said it. You didn't provide all those caveats because he does have qualifications, but he is not suited because of ... right? I just want to be careful.
I think we're mincing words a little bit. I mean, again, anybody who makes a statement, his statements about in his views that women should not serve. If you are going to be the Secretary of Defense, I think that makes you unqualified. Quite frankly.
I mean, in Trump's eyes, that is his highest qualification, is that like his anti-woke stance.
Exactly. I mean, he supports rounding up left-wing Democrats. I think that makes you unqualified.
And that, yeah, like that part too, not just within the ranks, but also that he would be willing to do whatever Trump wants with regard to using force against U.S. civilians.
Yeah, and I think just because he served, I don't think that gives him qualifications, because there's people that could have served that did not have these unfortunate examples and numerous examples. It's not like there's one where there's smoke, there's fire. So I just think he's, again, I think we're mincing words here a little bit, but I just don't see him as somebody who should be qualified to lead our military, especially when recruitment is down, as we know, and the hateful rhetoric in particular pointed towards Laney's community, etc.
And the thing is that like the hateful dork, incel 22-year-olds, they're not signing up. Like, I don't care how anti-woke your military are. They're not signing up. They're, well, as you say, weak, right? Like, they talk a lot of shit on the internet, but, like, they are not service member material.
Right.
Raython,
how are you today?
Doing well. Thank you. Yeah, what a, I don't know if you've taken you're live, so you're probably not taking an opportunity to watch any of the confirmation, but it is an absolute shit show over there. I mean, they are like the two Republican senators that are bringing him to the panel are like basically
full faith in our border czar Laney to make those distinctions and keep Philadelphia alive and well as part of Cantifa.
Raph, you and I were arguing in DMs yesterday. I just want you to know that Laney is a better friend of mine than he is of yours.
I think we compromised to South Florida, right?
That's right. Oh, that's right. We decided that we would just let them annex it. Right.
Yeah.
Right, and then Obi basically sold out half of California by trying to line down the center of the state, a vertical line down the center of the state. So things got a little dicey.
We're also getting rid of the western side of Minnesota, giving that to the Dakotas. Also, Proletariat came in. He said they are taking, indigenous folks are going to be taking Alberta and just basically all the way down the Rockies and in a good bit of the Midwest.
Right.
They're just going to have, that's going to be theirs now. So
that is a wild map. You all understand that that's going to take a little while to draw up and have defined, and we need to ensure the fact that no one encroaches on our territory, right? Like we gotta.
Well, this is easy, right? So we just make sure everything's nice and woke. We put up a wall of pride flags.
The woke zone.
They won't cross it, right?
The woke zone, right?
Yeah, and so everybody who's like maybe in the boonies in say upstate New York and places like that, they're gonna run south pretty quickly. Once they see what we got planned for them. Free healthcare.
Yeah,
they're really
free
afraid of it.
healthcare.
Yeah.
lady.
So they're
We have a
terrified.
Canadian representative already. I forgot his name. He was here yesterday with us, and he was representing Canada. So him and Laney are going to work together.
He totally agreed that Alberta can go. He was like, yeah, seriously, you can the U.S. the United States of fascism.
Maybe even
can,
Saskatchewan. I'm sure Crow would take it.
Yeah,
take it off
exactly.
their hands.
Exactly.
Should we not offer Crow, Arizona, and New Mexico?
Oh yeah, I mean they get
right?
to go like all the way down the Rockies,
Colorado, too.
and good chunk east of there.
Yeah.
So Kansas, Nebraska.
So
all
that would be okay. Amy Dawn would be good then, because
she would be good. That's true. That's a good point. So then that leaves Tennessee,
and they'll
Kentucky.
deal with the current residents as they see fit.
So we're basically left with. Well, hold on. Let me do
We
this.
still don't have any takers for Maine to advocate for Maine.
Yeah, no.
I did.
Okay. Rhode Island.
I think we decided we're just gonna have to keep. New
So
Hampshire.
basically, what we're saying. So what do we have here? So we have Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and then
that whole corridor.
That whole corridor. I mean, we can make indigenous claims here, though. But sadly, I mean, Oklahoma, the entire state from every county voted red. By the way, when MAGA refers to 95% of the nation voted for Trump, last time I checked, there's like 4 people who live in Wyoming, right? And those 4 people might have voted for Trump, but land doesn't vote.
Right.
So
They've been saying majority so much, like most Americans, majority. And it's like, y'all don't even know what a plurality is.
Right, exactly.
Plurality
Exactly.
of the people that voted, which was not the majority of the voting public.
We landed on Montana. Montana can because Alberta is like right here. So Montana is going to remain. So then that leaves us with this part of the country, and Tennessee. Victoria tried to make the argument, although she said, "No, that's not worth it."
No.
Kentucky,
Tennessee's one of the worst.
You're stuck behind. Kentucky, sorry, Greg. Indiana, sorry, Cookie. You guys are stuck too. So the United States of fascism is now down to like 14 states, roughly speaking.
Well,
Florida,
they can get back to maybe
Texas.
we can work it out. They can carve it up and just make it the original 13, and then
Yeah.
So I
go
have
back
a
to
question.
That nice
the
13
Gulf
number.
Coast. The Gulf Coast can certainly stay.
Yeah.
That's the
yes,
Gulf
Brad.
of America. Okay,
Correct.
we're
Correct.
living in 2025 now, Steve.
Gulf
We got to
of
make sure we
America.
get that.
Just call it Gulf of America.
Gulf
Gulf of
America.
the Gulf of this is not going to lower my egg prices. Yeah.
Gulf of America. All one word. Gulf of America.
Gulf America. Who's going to be the Secretary of Defense for Cantifa if Pete Hegseth is appearing to be the Secretary of Defense for MAG America or whatever the hell we call it?
Elmer Fudd.
Elmer Fudd, dude.
Captain
I'm
Crunch.
for it.
Guys, I cannot fucking open this iced tea for shit.
I can't get over this. I cannot believe this is happening right now with this entire Pete Hegseth thing. It is absolutely outrageous and wild to me. He's going to be replacing an individual in Secretary Lloyd Austin, who's been in the military for 40 plus effing years or something of the sort, working in the capacity to keep us and our allies safe basically his entire career. And we're going to hand it over to a podcast bro who sits up on Fox News and wears more makeup than most people in this world. I like, the only thing is, Laney, I make an argument here. Maybe Pete Hegseth will motivate some of those little goofball Gen Zers running around talking all that toxic masculinity to join the military for once. Since all these dudes do is complain about not having jobs, and they want to sit here and complain about college not being a thing, go join the military, you losers.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm saying.
understand.
They won't do it. They won't do it. They want to, tout all the jingoism and everything like that, but not one of them is going to sign up.
It's horrible.
It's Hegseth, it's Kash Patel, and it's Tulsi Gabbard. Those 3 picks alone. I mean, global intelligence services are like Tulsi Gabbard. No,
But Wesley
absolutely
Clark.
not.
We could take Wesley Clark as our
If Shay in the comments said I should be the Secretary of Defense, we would be at war with everyone. That would.
Yeah, you can't put a Jersey person in
You
charge of
cannot
that.
put somebody in New Jersey.
If we really want to piss him off, let's make it Admiral Levine.
I'd love that.
The nicest thing in the world. It's just what comes out of my mouth doesn't match
it sounds nice to me. I'm like, I'm being nice, and people are like, you're not being nice. I'm like, no, trust me, I'm being fucking nice.
Yeah, and our entire lives.
I am fucking zen.
I am fucking zen. That's right.
And thing people don't understand too, Jess, is like in certain times of the year, our entire emotion for the week is predicated on what happens on Sunday, and you probably don't want that, you know?
Being an Eagles fan sucks. So
Yeah,
not
sometimes.
only am I a Jerseyan, but I'm a fucking Eagles fan. So
Look at what happens after like soccer losses in the UK, right?
Yeah, that's
true.
Like towns get destroyed, right?
That's true. Yeah,
I'm an Eagles fan.
And wives get assaulted. Like, and I'm not kidding about that. Like
That's very
that
true.
is real. Like men are emotional.
I'm just so I wanted to say one more thing, Facts. I greatly appreciate all of you, and I this has been rough because like it's starting to hit me now that TikTok's like gonna go away unless that bill gets passed. So I did call John Fetterman's office.
Good.
In regards to both that and the nominations.
Did you ask him why the fuck he went to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring?
You know what the thing is, man, is as much as I want to drag him for that, like he's already being dragged. I have to just call him and try and talk with some sense of level-headedness because like it's just it's crazy. It's just crazy. Obviously, he went to Mar-a-Lago to talk about. Like that's clear to me. I know that, but you cannot tell me that you're a level-headed person and vote for these people. Tulsi Gabbard. I don't want to go off this last bit. If you're going to spend your entire time in these positions targeting Donald Trump's political opponents, you are leaving the rest of the country out to dry.
Yeah.
If the FBI isn't paying attention to domestic tea groups because they're paying attention to Liz Cheney, and if the Secretary of Defense is paying attention to allies instead of enemies, we're talking about us being put at risk, and it's outrageous. So I just wanted to say that, and I appreciate you all very much.
Appreciate you, buddy. Talk to you later. Iron Knight.
You still only get
friend,
South Philly. Sorry, bud.
Do respect, friend. We won't talk about sports, but do you think being part of Cowboys Nation is a flex?
No.
I'm sorry, my guy.
Yeah.
I'm really, really sorry about that.
I'm about to block you. Where
I don't even pay attention to football, but I know that that's bad.
Exactly.
You're about to get blocked, buddy.
Kendrick's Turtle, how are you today?
Hey, friend.
I am doing good. Hillary.
Hi, Kendrick.
I just have a question about like, can we have Eastern Arkansas? It is like
No.
it is
Absolutely
No.
not.
No.
Not a
Dang it.
fucking-
No,
It's
that's where my family lives. No.
So, again,
Arkansas?
no. Sorry. Let's look at the other
That's
map.
where I am. It's
I
a lot
know.
more
You're just
reasonable of a
you will have
move.
amnesty, right? You have a legitimate claim to amnesty.
Yeah, I have a
right?
couch.
As a trans person.
So, no. Sorry. No. Sorry.
Absolutely not.
And you can come stay up here.
Yeah,
right?
you'd have to move
yeah.
to the Republic of Cantifa.
Yeah. Like, why would you want to stay down there? Like, because the conditions will not change for you if it's just like that little sliver of Arkansas down there as an island in a sea of garbage.
That's right. I mean, we've taken some liberties with redrawing some of these maps.
But it's got to be attached somehow.
Right, exactly. We're using some natural boundaries. Obi said, fuck Eastern California, and basically just cut the state right in half, right down the middle from Oregon down to the Mexican border. But sadly, friend Kendrick, we're stuck with Arkansas just because of where it is. So, I would suggest just packing up and leaving.
Yeah. You'll have a year to come up, like you pretty much immediately. Like, people will be starting to make plans, moving in either direction, right? So you want to be where the good folks are.
Right.
Yeah, I have like my entire friend group. I would also have to move.
They're all going to need to come too.
Yeah, everybody.
Because if they're your friends, they're probably good people too, and they're probably not going to want to stay down there in MAGA hellhole land.
I mean, I have a trans mask best friend. Two of my other friends are gender fluid.
Yep,
Uh,
yep, yep. We want them all, please.
Mama B101, sorry, Montana can't be included. Montana's no, sorry. I mean, again, like, no, sorry.
We will have Zoe, but everybody else.
Mr. Reed is calling Pete out right now because Pete right now is talking about a meritocracy, which he's never talked about before, and none of his views align with that. And Mr. Reed just said to him, like, all of your views are political and you're trying to politicize the military. Good for
Isn't he
you.
is it Reed from Rhode Island?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He looks like Elmer Fudd. Get him,
Does.
Elmer.
He does.
Totally. Kendrick, anything else today?
Yeah. I fully expect USMC McAngry veteran to be reading through the Jack Smith files today.
Yeah. We talked about it earlier. I mean, I read through most of it, and there's not much new in there, to be honest. There's not much new evidence. It's just a confirmation of everything we've learned. And Jack Smith basically saying that, listen, if this had gone to trial, you would have been found guilty, and we all know that. We all know that. But yeah, I'll be tuning in to listen.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'll be back in the comments. Lenny, I'll probably hop up in your panel if you go live today.
Okay, great. I didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, we'll see you later this afternoon.
Thank you, Kendrick. Wee. Excellent. You got the cue. Beautiful. All right, we'll bring up Seek. Obi, did you time out, buddy? You might have. You still in there? I think so. Hi, Seek. How are you?
Good morning, my friends. How are you?
We're doing well. What's on your mind?
Well, first I have to say, Azerasia would like to be allies with Cantifa.
Again, no. Our suggestion is that you hook up with Proletariat and become part of the indigenous states of whatever that might be, and or petition Mexico to join their party.
We can remain our own entity. We just want to be on your side of things.
So, like a covert, behind-the-scenes trading partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'd have to talk to the border czar.
Yeah, well, you're sharing a border with California, so, I mean, there's going to be trade, I would imagine, some.
Yeah.
And, yeah, but I would say, yeah, that's going to be probably Crow territory or Mexico at best for y'all.
Yeah, at best.
Because, yeah, it's Arizona's too
swingy.
It's too unreliable. I get it. We're just gonna make our own little portion of Azerasia. We're gonna take it and just go boop and not be part of the rest of Arizona anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you've got
state of Arizona.
Exactly right. I mean, you could all form an alliance here with all these blue pockets, right? Because again, the majority of people in those areas more so than the land. Because last time I checked, land does not vote.
No,
I mean, as the last time I checked.
Well, you never know.
I mean, I
Weird
feel
things
like
happens.
This is in Crow's Corridor here, like, which is what I'm now calling it. Crow's Corridor from Alberta down through the Rockies.
So Matt, we have not made a decision on. We went back and forth on
that because I'm sure, like, they are very good with, like, if you're with us, you're with us. If you're not,
right,
you know.
So we talked about Detroit yesterday. So no, Matt, we're not necessarily official, although we decided because a lot of those cities, align the Great Lakes, we might be able to sweep up some. But listen, this was my map initially, and quite frankly, Cantifa's getting a little bit too big. All these concessions that we're making. I mean, there are certain arguments. I felt the pressure of Jess's influence to include New Jersey and Philadelphia. That makes sense.
New Jersey
logistically.
has been solidly
Yep,
blue.
we're
for a
good.
good while.
We're good on Jersey. But everything else, like I said, I got all these cash apps last night, all these bribes from some of these red states,
Are you
and I had
getting
to send all the
bribes?
money
I
back.
didn't get any bribes. What the hell, y'all? Like,
Yeah, I
I'm
had
the
to
one you got to talk to here.
Send all this money back for like Oklahoma. Sorry. You guys want to put the 10 Commandments in your schools. I don't know what to tell you. The entire state is red.
Yeah, Oklahoma is ass.
We could move the
let Crow
capital
fix that shit
to
real
Oklahoma.
quick for
I
y'all.
mean, Kansas, Nebraska.
Yeah,
listen, there's some lovely people there. So this is it's almost like, you have if the TikTok ban is extended, by the way, please call your congressmen and women, 202-224-3121. Use the email. We posted it in the Discord, and contact them and ask them to support Senator Markey's extend the TikTok ban bill, which is in Congress, basically, which would allow a 270-day extension. 202-224-3121 number is in our Discord. All y'all voted bright red. I know all of you didn't, but we can't make the argument.
Yeah, that one's a tough one.
I mean, our borders are a bit of a pushover, but
But if your state is in the middle of ass town, like Assville, whatever, like what can we do? What can we do about that?
Yes, this is the number, everybody, 202-224-3121. There is a letter that Lainey was kind enough to draft. There's a couple of different versions, but you can go to our Discord. You can copy it. You can email your members of Congress, primarily focus on the Senate because this is where the bill will be heard first, but send it to your House reps as well. Everybody, again, we've had as many as 1,200 people in here today, 2,400 potential phone calls, 2,400 potential emails. Let's get this shit done. Let's get it done. All right, we lost Obi.
One unrelated to Cantifa comment is I'm planning on getting the silent auction website live hopefully tomorrow in the evening. So, and then I'm going to probably, depending if TikTok does go away, it'll either end before TikTok goes away or we can extend it if TikTok stays.
That's right. That's right. I want to congratulate Scary Stroke Dad. It was his submission to get the T-shirt that now is available in the merch store. We'll be adding some additional merch items, but this is what it looks like. Our school is not your church. That is available in many colors in our merch store.
I've got my Brett shirt on today.
That item is available in our merch store, along with T-shirts that we're still supporting Brett Nikki Cross. The sound of children screaming has been removed. Matt's handsome face on a picture of a T-shirt with his service dog Faith. We're still raising money for that cause. You'll find a link to support the LA Red Cross. That is a cause that we're supporting. You'll also find a link to a member of our community who's in need. You'll find that as a GoFundMe link. All this information is in our resource section. And again, this is one of those things that we lose if TikTok goes away.
Yep.
The ability to connect causes to people and causes to community. And I take a lot of pride in the work that we've done trying to align or to try to put focus and attention on causes, whether they be bigger than us or individuals. And that's something I'm going to really miss. So anyway.
Agreed.
Yeah. So tomorrow you'll provide updates on whether or not we're going to go live with that.
Yep.
Or when we're going live with that auction.
Yep. If anybody wants to submit anything to auction off, I'm asking by midnight Eastern today, so 10 p.m. Asia time. Just have it to me by then so I can get everything put together tomorrow. And then, yeah. So,
all right.
I will post
everybody,
links and whatnot.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying I'd post links and whatnot.
Excellent. All right, I want to go back to a couple things I wanted to talk about. We talked about the SNAP benefits program. That's disturbing that SNAP will be something that they'll look to cut. Again, $350 a month for 22 million American households, provides access to people who need it for food, like food. Okay. We've heard the drip of Trump's approach to the problem that we have with faucets. Every time he says that, he says faucets because he can't say faucets properly.
What's a lathered hair?
Yeah, exactly. Latherous hair. I want to commend the Joe Biden administration for attempting again to relieve some debt for college students, for people who have student loans. Another 150,000 people. The latest tranche of debt forgiveness brings the number of people benefiting from student loan cancellations to more than 5 million. He's faced legal challenge after legal challenge after legal challenge, and how sad it is that predatory lending taking advantage of so many people and try to do something to help people out, including 80,000 borrowers who were cheated or defrauded by their schools, 60,000 borrowers with total and permanent disabilities, and more than 6,000 public service workers were included in this round. The Supreme Court struck it down for whatever reason because they don't give a shit. The Department of Education pivoted to existing pathways meant to lift the financial burden of loan repayments on some of the country's most financially vulnerable borrowers. I'm looking at another kid ready to go to college next year. And, unless we address something, and if Pell Grants go away, which would be something would be included and supported by the Department of Education, then I don't know how the fuck we're going to pay for her school. So there's that. Okay.
Yeah, and they're eventually going to stop. Like right now, like my student loan is on deferment until all of these cases are all wrapped up. Basically, it's been on deferment for a long time, and like as you guys know, I've had a lot of life experience, like stuff happen. I can barely afford to fucking live, and here I'm about to have to start paying back student for a vocational school that said they were going to be able to get me a job paying a certain amount of money, and then didn't and couldn't. And the amount of money, they basically screwed me. The amount of money that I was going to be paid as doing that job was nowhere close to what they said I could get paid. That would be like 10 years down the line. That would be like 15 years down the line. And I was stupid and didn't do my own research because I wasn't where I am today to be smart enough to do so.
Let's just think about that for just a second before I bring Erica back up. But so think about the things that they talked about cutting just in the last couple of weeks. SNAP benefits. They've always resisted wanting to SNAP benefits again. $350 a month. That's it. Although that's make or break for some families, right? They voted against wanting to extend the child tax credit to increase it. Student loan repayment, $194 million. Remove that from funding for children for childhood cancer research.
I was going to say cancer, yeah.
Veteran benefits. The list goes on and on and on, and yet the disgraces that voted for him cheer on billionaires getting more tax cuts. Cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, cuts to Social Security, gutting the ACA. These are the things that are going to make America great. Okay. Hi, Erica. Welcome back.
Hello. I just wanted the only thing I wanted to say was, well, you know, I'll say other stuff too, but the reason I came back up was, if people want other colors of stuff in the merch store, if they want a hoodie in a different color or a t-shirt in a different color, please do like drop me a message or in Discord, drop me a message, because most of them I can make changes to really easily. The one exception to that is the Love LA t-shirt, where I can't change the color of the printing. So no, you can't have it in black. Sorry. Thanks.
That's right. And somebody sent me a message about the just the logo, the "Fuck Your Feelings" logo on a T-shirt or a hoodie. I thought that was in there somewhere. Did we hide that?
It's on the What's for Dinner, but it's not on it's not completely on its own.
I think we may need one on its own. Apparently.
That's easy. Yeah. Well, I can, if my work computer works properly, I can do that literally now.
There you go.
Do you do the placement, Erica, of where the logos are on the shirts, or do you do that? Okay, can you bring the logo for? I mean, I don't know if you can edit it, but the What's for Dinner, can you bring the logo down a little bit on the shirt? Because I have my sweater, it's the hoodie, and it's up a little bit high, so when my hood is down here, like if I put my hood up, you could see it, but if my hood is regular, it kind of blocks it a little bit right here.
Yeah,
a little high
I
up.
can do that. Because when we looked at them, quite a lot of them, we moved them up because they look too low. So yeah, we can do that.
I gotta run, but
bye, C.
Thanks for having me up. I'll keep you all posted.
See you later. Appreciate you. I have to deal with some capitalism that I got a little request a little bit early, but not yet. So I've got about 15 more minutes. So I think what's the latest on the hearing? Is there anything that we need to kind of call out aside from just the fact that they're going after him like crazy?
Miss Fisher is licking his bootstraps, which I knew she was going to. She's like obsessed with him. She's just agreeing with everything, but I just think he's just disingenuous. He built his whole platform of himself basically on one thing, and I just don't think he's being honest about that here.
Yeah, so in a tense exchange, Senator Reid asked Hegseth if he was, quote, aware of reports that current serving military personnel had received emails threatening them with being fired for supporting the current Department of Defense policies. Reid stated that one such email to a military officer that he'd been made aware of as read, quote, with the incoming administration looking to remove disloyal, corrupt, traitorous liberal officers such as yourself, we will certainly be putting your name into the list of those personnel to be removed. Hegseth said, certainly I'm not aware of that. It's not one of my efforts, before diving into his focus on accountability. The exchange quickly resulted in a brief sparring with Reid, with Hegseth criticizing the DEI policies of today, which he said are not the same as what happened back then. They're dividing troops inside formations, causing commanders to walk on eggshells, not putting meritocracy first. Reed fired back, telling Hegseth that all of your public comments don't talk about meritocracy. They talk about liberal democratic efforts that are destroying the military, that those people are enemies. I really think that if this confirmation goes through, then you could expect Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel to also get confirmed, because where's the line? It's pretty disturbing.
Thank you for the 11-month subscriber. You did not have to do that. Steve is in fact kind of trying to deter you guys away from that until after we figure out what's going to happen this week. But thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, that
Hegseth
is.
says the accusations against him were part of a smear campaign. Senator Wicker focused the first question on accusations against Hegseth, which he said came from anonymous sources and liberal media.
Yep.
Hegseth said that there was a coordinated smear campaign orchestrated in the media against us, even though he paid off his accuser. What we know is that it wasn't about me. Most of it was about President Trump, who's had to endure the very same thing for much longer amount. Oh my God, I can't even read anymore. So fucking disgusting. Holy shit.
I just can't believe that this is happening. Like, I'm almost like, I feel like every time something else happens, I don't know why I'm shocked anymore, but like my body goes into like this state of panic. Like, how much worse can it get? And then it gets worse. And then how much worse can it get? And then it gets fucking worse.
Yeah. I mean, I just think I don't see how someone with his rhetoric that he has said against members of the military, about how he supports firing woke liberal Democrats, his meritorious or meritocracy types of opinions has never been his game. It's always been about DEI. I don't see how someone like that could ever be considered for the Department of Defense Secretary, the largest department in our government, arguably one of the most important positions politically, globally. You could make that argument. It's a pretty important position. Just as a reminder, I saw this question pass by. If TikTok is here on the 20th, we will not be covering the inauguration. That's not going to happen. We're going to cover Martin Luther King Day instead. We'll probably find some other causes to support. We'll probably, because again, I would encourage anybody who's on the left, and for liberal creators who watch me, I know it's it's an easy audience to get people to come in, but I would just encourage you to not do it. Please don't cover the inauguration. I'm asking you, please don't do it.
We'll stare at the flag half-mast the whole day if we have to on live.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's what he wants. He wants the attention. He wants the audience. That's his energy. Don't give it to him. Again, remember, the flags will be flying at half staff because of Jimmy Carter. And that reminds me of something. I wanted to read this and I forgot I had it, but this is great. This just tells us everything. And Jimmy Carter giving Donald Trump one more big fuck you from the grave. And they just did a little comparison to, Jimmy Carter's, the character of the two presidents. So this is really interesting. So the character of the two presidents: faithfully married to his wife for 77 years, Jimmy Carter. Donald Trump committed adultery on all three of his wives. Jimmy Carter, ranked by historians as one of the most honest presidents in history. Donald Trump made 30,573 documented or false or misleading claims while in office. Jimmy Carter taught Sunday school regularly. Donald Trump almost never attended church, could not recite a single scripture, hawked $60 Bibles for a profit. Jimmy Carter peacefully left office when he lost. I think we can move past that one. Jimmy Carter monitored international elections to ensure they were fair. Donald Trump, I just need you to find 11,780 votes. Jimmy Carter won Nobel Peace Prize for decades of efforts in advancing international peace and human rights. Donald Trump separated migrant children from their parents. Jimmy Carter, submarine commander who risked his life to save his sub during a partial nuclear meltdown. Donald Trump never served in the military. His rich father got a doctor to claim his son had bone spurs to get a deferment from serving during the Vietnam War. Jimmy Carter put his personal business in a blind trust so as to not make money off the presidency. Business lost money while in office. Donald Trump made $2.4 billion while in office, including $160 million from foreign countries. Jimmy Carter built low-income housing for the poor. Donald Trump, convicted of stealing from his own charity and forced to shut down, legally barred from ever running a charity again. Jimmy Carter never committed a crime. Donald Trump, convicted felon 34 times over, convicted of, found liable for sexual abuse, convicted of civil fraud violations. And Jimmy Carter, altruistic. Donald Trump, narcissistic. I love that list. All right, we've got time for a couple more.
Turns out, because I work in a school, computer's a piece of shit and won't do what I'm asking it to do. Because apparently graphics cards are not a thing when you work for the government. So, but when I get home, which will be in about an hour and 10 minutes, I will do it then. So it will be on. It will be on by 6 p.m. No, 5. No, it will be on by like 3 p.m. your time.
Thank you, Erica. We appreciate that. Popes, good morning. How are you today?
Good. I just want to know, like, what was Trump convicted for? I honestly, I just have no idea.
You do know. You know. Obviously, know. I mean, are you up? Do you want to have a conversation? Or just up here trolling?
I'm not trolling. I want to know, like, so, like, what is it like? I know that they convicted him. Is it because of what happened on the 6th, or I really just want to know, like, what the documents were?
So we know you're trolling. Would you like to have a serious conversation, or not?
No, I'm actually being serious. Like, I actually want to know, like, what he's being convicted for.
He was convicted of 34 times.
I know, but like, what were the stuff that he was convicted for?
Falsifying business
you're
records.
just trolling, Popes. You know. I mean, you know. I know you're.
Well, I know that he was convicted for assault. I'm not really sure what else.
No, he was found civilly liable for forcibly and digitally penetrating Eugene Carroll's vagina. You okay with that?
No, for sure not.
You voted for him, though, right?
Personally, I did because of policy, but I really want to get more informed because I've been seeing a lot of stuff lately. So I'm really just asking.
Okay, so he's again. You voted for somebody who was found civilly liable for digitally penetrating Eugene Carroll's vagina. You voted for that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know who Eugene Carroll is. Is she like someone that he obviously was accusing him for?
Have you never seen a search engine before?
It doesn't matter
I
who
have.
she is. So he's found
No, it
civilly
matters who she
liable.
is.
It does it? Why?
No, it matters. I just don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not.
Why does it matter?
Stuff
Why does it matter who it is?
because it's a human life and they deserve to have their voice.
Right, and he was found civilly liable for deliberately and forcibly penetrating her vagina with his fingers. You voted.
Oh,
for
really?
that. Yeah, really.
I honestly had no idea. And then what was the other stuff that he was convicted for?
Okay, that wasn't a conviction. That was a civil adjudicated through civil court. He was found civilly liable for doing that. He was found guilty of 34 felony counts for falsifying business records to cover up a hush money payment that he made to a prostitute.
Oh, okay. And that was 34 times that he was convicted for that?
Yeah, 34-time convicted felon. You voted for that.
I mean, technically, yeah, I did, but I
No,
just
not technically. It's not technically. You did vote for that.
Yeah, I voted for him because I personally didn't like how the country was run previously with Biden. I just didn't really like
How was the country run with Biden?
I didn't like how the border was being handled. I didn't like.
Did you ever care about the border? Did you ever care about the border before Trump told you to?
Of course, absolutely.
So then you
back in 2016.
So you were concerned about
That's
the border.
when he was talking about the border. Again.
Exactly.
Well, he
So
kind of
you
brought it up and brought up to our attention all this crime that was happening, which I thought was
really?
good.
So what crime? So what crime, Popes?
Women getting assaulted, all the stuff.
So
Hang on, he's assaulting women.
You're concerned about women getting assaulted, Popes?
Oh yeah, of course.
So, but you voted for a man who was adjudicated sexual predator.
I mean,
you voted for a man who bragged about having sex in common with his daughter. You voted for a man who said he'd be dating a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. You voted for a man who commented on his 1-year-old daughter's legs and breasts.
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I don't know much about that, to be honest with you. But what I do know,
No shit.
That's
well, obviously I don't. But it's like from what I've seen and from what I try to watch a lot of stuff. And
like, what do you watch?
Like,
sound like you know much of anything.
Yeah, like
I watch his rallies. I watch
his rallies.
I watch
where his word salad became absolutely no form of any sentence in the American
language at all whatsoever, right?
So
And then
hey Popes, maybe this. Maybe you're just part of the problem, that you're a willfully uninformed voter
You
who
can take
doesn't
the
give a
word
shit
maybe
about us.
out.
I'm just
He's
trying to
definitely
make
a
a
part of the
point.
problem.
You guys are all mad at me.
No. Here, let me just
I
explain
mean, I live
something
in
to you.
Ohio, so my vote doesn't really
I'm a
matter.
woman. I'm a woman. You have Lainey up here, you have Erica up here, right? Nobody is asking you to be angry for us about what nobody's asking you to stick up for us, right? And this is the second time that I've heard a man come up here and say that he voted for Trump because he's afraid for women. Like this is the second time. Lainey and I went through this last night too. Nobody's asking you to come up here and talk about us for us.
Well, I just
Nobody's
want to know
giving you
more
that
information about
thing.
the felonies because personally, when
no,
Then
I
go
just
look
don't
them
know if
up.
that
Like,
is
go look
true.
them up. Why are you here, like, asking us for labor? Go look it up.
Yeah. And can I point out, Popes, the point at which to do your research is prior to your vote
Yeah, it's
and
prior.
not after it. And the fact that you've already made your decision about who you were going to vote for, and you're still justifying it on policy, even when it's just been explained to you the things that he's been held responsible for both civilly and criminally in court, but you're expecting us to do your homework for you when you clearly didn't bother, because Donald Trump is never going to tell you the bad things
I mean,
about
I
him.
did my research. I just didn't
Excuse me,
hear about
Popes,
the
I'm still
felonies.
talking.
Oh, sorry.
I'm still talking. I know you don't like letting women finish, but you're going to on this occasion. Your job as a citizen of any country is to do your research before you vote. We're not doing your research for you, particularly after you've already done the damage. Thanks for coming, though.
So part of this, Pope, I want to give, and I'm going to ask the panel just to let this conversation happen for just a second. So Popes, I guess the reality in Erica was very correct in her. Now we're past it. Now you made a vote for him. So you either, it's one of two things, right? You are either willfully ignorant or a grape apologist, but I'm thinking you're all five of these things. And the reason I say that is because you voted for something that Donald Trump himself has already said he doesn't give a shit about, the border. We know that. You voted for a guy who promised you that he's going to lower inflation, end inflation, lower your prices, and he's already come out since then and say, yeah, I'm not going to do that. You voted for a guy who said within 24 hours.
That's literally not true.
What's not true?
What you just said. He's going to, what do you mean? He never said he's not going to lower inflation.
He didn't?
Yeah, he did.
That's not true at all.
He said he's going to end inflation.
He said it in the campaign, but he never said that he's not going to do it now. That's totally a lie.
No, he absolutely said it.
When did he say it? Because I watch all of his stuff, and I've never heard that.
So did you read the Time Magazine interview?
Actually, yeah, I bought the Time magazines.
Did you read it?
You bought Time magazine?
Yeah, because I'm be honest, I like Trump. So Trump, he
But
said
you
that
don't know
he
the
never
stuff
said
that he did prior to the election. You
Am I allowed to
didn't know
finish?
about that.
Am I allowed to
You
finish,
said
or
you
is that not
like
allowed here
Trump,
with
you
Democrats?
follow
Sorry.
Trump, you listen to his rallies, but you didn't read about any of the criminal stuff that was going on.
Hang on one second. So I guess what I'm saying, Whoops, if you said that you said you've been doing this research, he campaigned that he was going to end inflation and lower your prices. And then you said you read the Time magazine interview, and he's in his own words in that he said it's really hard and I'm not promising anything.
No, he said that he's going to do everything in his power to lower inflation, but it is hard because of what's been in front of us. So that's
he promised you that he was going to end it.
Yeah, he's going to try to end it. Of course he is.
He promised you that he was going to end it.
Yeah, he said that he's going to try to end inflation.
No, he said he was going to end it.
Yes, he is going to end it, but he said it has to take time.
He said he was going to end it.
I just told you that he said that.
He said we were going to slash prices. It's going to be easy.
He is going to. Absolutely going to.
Okay, so let's just listen.
Now he's saying
just
not
be quiet
easy.
a second, Post. Just be quiet a second.
Sure.
Okay, just listen.
Make America affordable again. We're going to get the prices down. We have to get them down. It's too much. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down. But prices will come down. You just watch. They'll come down, and they'll come down fast. Not only with insurance, with everything. So tomorrow, I will end inflation. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices. I will end inflation. End inflation. Slash your prices. To wrap.
So you get the idea, Popes. So again, he lied to you. He lied to you to get your.
He didn't lie to me.
He did.
No,
he
he
just
didn't.
He just said he's gonna end inflation. How do you end inflation, Popes?
You end inflation by, first off, by helping getting the oil drill, baby, drill.
Okay, so drill,
That's
baby,
gonna help
drill.
end
So
inflation.
the global oil executives met. I think it was in London relatively recently, and they all said no, that's not a thing. There's no such thing as drill,
It
baby,
helps bring
drill.
revenue to our country, though.
Okay, well, we're going to go back to the end inflation, and I'll dunk you on this next point in just a second. Your claim was that his claim was that he was going to end inflation and lower your prices, and I want you to answer to me how he's going to do that.
First off, he's going to drill, baby, drill. He's going to fix the border. Does cost a lot of money, so that's going to help end inflation.
How is the border going to end inflation? How is the border going to end inflation? How is the border going to end inflation?
Because when people come in illegally, it costs us a lot of money.
And how does that have to do with inflation?
Because it's costing us money.
How?
And it's
How
taking
much
people.
money? How much money?
I don't know, but it costs money.
You don't know. You don't know how much money, but you just know it's costing us money. How much do those people contribute to our economy? Do you know that?
I get that they contribute a lot, but
They
at the
contribute
same
more.
time, though, they're here illegally. Whether
What does
they're
illegally
so
mean to
basically-
you, though?
So you don't know. So did you said government spending, Popes, right? So you
Yeah,
think
fixed government spending, absolutely.
Okay, so then Trump spent more.
Double, not one, double. But I'm still
Spending
curious
on
though
the
on what
right
illegal
sense.
means to you because you keep saying this word illegal, and I don't think you're really sure what that means. I think it's just a talking point that you heard somewhere.
No, it's not at all. We're talking about that.
So what are people doing to come in illegally?
They're taking our jobs. They're doing
That's not illegal.
I want to go back to the inflation.
That
for a
is
second.
illegal. If I go to
Popes,
Italy and I overstay my welcome, they're going to kick me out of the country.
Popes. Okay, we're going to go back to the promises that he made to you. He promised you that he was going to end inflation and lower your prices. Can you name a point in our history where prices have gone down for things?
Well, just from what I know, Reagan helped bring down a lot of prices because Reagan helped.
How did Reagan do that?
He had everyone pay 10% of their taxes and really encourage people to buy new cars, which really helped a lot.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, so back in the 80s, Reagan had
How old are
taxes
you?
no more than 10%.
How old are you?
26.
Okay, so we're not going to talk about Reagan because you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. So again, you said government spending was influential in inflation. So explain then how Joe Biden spending less than Donald Trump.
Well, anybody's going to spend like Trump what Trump spent because of C-19. Of course, they're going to spend a lot.
We can look at both. They're right here. This is COVID spending, non-COVID spending, and COVID spending. In both
I
categories, Trump spent more.
guarantee you, facts, bro. That if Biden was president during Trump's
That's not the claim, Buttercup. Listen, your claim was government spending. Donald Trump spent more, whether you add COVID spending or not.
You had to spend that money.
My guy, do you see this? Are you looking at the screen? What does that say?
Non-COVID.
What does that say under Joe Biden?
I can't see. There's a big.
It's the same bucket. The dark red is non-COVID. So Donald Trump spent more. Donald Trump spent more on non-COVID spending than Joe Biden did on COVID spending and non-COVID spending combined. Explain that to me.
I believe that a lot of it was trying to fix the military and to end these wars, like for example, getting rid of ISIS.
The military.
Fix the military when we increase the budget every year?
Good. We should increase the budget, and we should get rid of this DI garbage that's in the military.
Okay. You know
All right,
what?
here we go. What do you
Let's
mean?
this. Well, hang on. Lainey, I'm not going to bother because I have to jump anyway. Let's do this. Let's start from scratch, okay? What did you have for breakfast?
Me?
Yeah.
Breakfast sandwich.
Nobody fucking cares.
You're lucky, punk. I was ready.
He's a troll.
What did I want for breakfast?
Nobody's that stupid. All right, I have to wrap because I got a little capitalism call from a client that is cranky.
Hey, brother. Hey, little guy. I'm sorry, little guy. Sorry, because I didn't get to cook you and eat you. So I just want you to know, go sign up. Go down to your recruiting office and sign up. You noodle-armed little bitch. Go sign up. Yeah, I say speak for us when we...
That. Love you all. It's it's Ed Markey's bill, Extend TikTok Ban Act. There's language that Lainey was kind enough to draft up that is in the chatting section of our Discord. You can find it in there. Call your senators, email your senators, call your members of Congress, email your members of Congress, tell them that this is important to you. We are in a situation where people that are ignorant, like our previous guest, who do not care, who are willfully ignorant, grape apologists, scared, soft, and weak, and they will be remembered as a disgrace. We know that. Don't give up the fight, friends.